What's the motherfucking deal? Welcome to the den. I'm glad that you could join me this evening. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope everybody is doing lovely. I hope life is treating you good. It is an honor, a privilege, and most of all, a pleasure to get to chop it up with you guys each and every night. So, again, like I said, I hope you're doing good. We're going to talk about the future of female athletes, female sports. A lot of stuff has been going on lately with the transgender invasion of female sports. We're going to talk about that. But first, let's see who we have joining us this evening. And let's have a good show this evening. I see Kay Grace, Sweetberry. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Everybody got their early bird pistachios? Oh, I think everybody did. Cultures Anubis, what's the motherfucking deal? Let's see. Rashida Reed, still waiting on that side man sandwich. Miss Bell, class in session. The bell has rung. Glad you could join us this evening. Only one lie. I'll be looking forward to your melodies. Well, I guess I'm reading them. I don't know. Like if you're reading them in his account. Who knows? Let's see. Mary in the house. What's the motherfucking deal, Mary? How are you this evening? So, Lise in the motherfucking building. What's the motherfucking deal? Let's see. LaDon Mellow Moonchild here to mellow everyone out. What's the motherfucking deal? And Samurai Hentai. I have no idea what the characters are, Jeff, but we just gonna call it Samurai Hentai. Glad you could join us this evening. Nacho, what's the motherfucking deal? Nacho, how you been, man? Speakeasy News. Already. It's a great name. Speakeasy News. Whatever happened to the speakeasies? Now you can't speak shit without people coming to attack you for having an opinion. You know, it's a sad state of affairs that we're in these days. You know. Yeah. We're definitely going to talk about that. We're going to talk about quite a few things, and it's very interesting things going on with this whole movement. You know, so transgender athletics now, for lack of a knowledge, I guess there's a cycling situation. Now this cyclist has won a couple of meets or whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. Look, I don't know what it is to be a woman. I don't want to be a woman. I feel like I was blessed to not have to be a woman. You know, I got a whole different set of issues and bag of tricks that you have to deal with. So, you know, glad it ain't me. Anywho, what I find funny with a lot of these people is that this transitioning thing's been going on for a while, but it just seems like all of a sudden it blew up in popularity. I don't know what changed in the early 2000s that just made this a thing. I don't even remember what year it was that Mr. Wheaties transition. I don't know if that was the spike. I don't know if it was going on before then. But it just seems like maybe because the news is giving more attention to it. Maybe because of whatever rights are being proposed. Maybe I don't know what it is, but it just seems like more than ever, even though this has been going on for a long, long time. Just why is this all of a sudden a thing on the forefront? But we'll get to that. So, but it seems like a lot of these people are older, you know, mid 30s, late 30s, 40s when they start deciding, hey, you know what, I ain't been living up to my full potential for the last 40 years. I think I'm going to take a walk on the wild side, you know. And I think that it has brought on this new onslaught of ideas and odd personalities. You know, most of y'all know my personal belief. Again, I don't hate anybody. I feel like everybody should have the ability to do anything anyone else does. But when your ability or your opportunity impacts the natural order of things, that's when we have to start asking questions. That's when you have to start wondering about things. I I understand white persuasion, but I have a job I must do. I owe the den folk, um, and at the sacrifice of missing certain things. Now, if we're talking about an elimination game, it might be a different situation, right? So it is what it is. Oh, I believe there are a lot of mental situations that take place. Just keep me updated, persuasion. Um, but so my thing is, and I see Dita Gam in the building. What's the motherfucking deal? Again, so this person recently, this has been the latest one, has beaten a bunch of women again, and it's odd because what you see is you see a lot of the men go to the other side, and they just end up dominating. I mean, they end up winning because there's no comparison, right? I mean, it's just come on the natural. I don't even say natural athleticism, but because some motherfuckers look funky looking, they still just go and break women's records. Men will go and claim to be women, and they shatter all the weightlifting records, and it's not even close. There's a rapper named Zuby. He's hilarious though. He's really actually a pretty interesting person. But he did it deliberately to prove a point. He said he identified as a woman, and he instantly held a bunch of weightlifting records for doing stuff maybe your average dude could do. But, or your average person who works out frequently could do. Bad and bougie, what's the motherfucking deal? How are you this evening? And, and he kind of has like I said, but he did it as a joke. It's not really like a thing. He doesn't believe he's transgender, but I guess to prove a point, but no point was proven. But anyway, going back to the cyclist, just a lot of things going on with that whole situation. And they were mad, said that they got upset because of the person who came in second didn't lock arms with them. She said they're transphobic or being a sore sport or whatever you want to call it. I mean, again, I think it's a very simple solution. I think it's a very simple solution to all of these things, right? If you want to make a huge advancement for not only trans rights, but women's rights, why don't you ever see men who transition into women compete in men's sports? So that way you're getting like the double whammy. The first transgender to be successfully introduced, I guess, into men's sports, and then the first woman, right? Since everything is about being women, you could be such a a real record breaker, a real game changer. I love you too, Hentai Samurai. I don't know what to call. I don't know what the name's of Hentai Samurai. I just like that's what we'll call it. Yeah, I'm gonna open the line here in a little bit. And you can call in definitely. I'm gonna talk for about 20, 25 minutes about some things that I'm gonna open up the line. But I definitely like to hear from you on this one. What happened? Another child died. Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible, man. You hate to see. Again, that's my thing. When it comes to the kids, like, especially those who can't take care of themselves, they don't ask to be here, and you just do them dirty. That's kind of a fucking raw deal, man. McVice, Miss Cartier, how are you doing this evening? I hope all of you doing well. Hope all of you are doing well. But again, so why not really break some real records? But instead, what you see in every single case is it's a man turning into a woman and competing in women. I used to remember girls who played football, right? Now, let's be honest, got to a point maybe like in junior high they could kind of compete in the lower levels. There was a little girl who was cold a couple of years ago. She had like all the little highlights. She was like really, really damn good, right? So why not? Yeah, the wrestling champion. I want to talk about that too. That's a whole different. Because I have questions about that. I haven't really looked into it, but like I said, I was just kind of examining some of these athletes that are questionable, and the majority of them are men who turn into women. Now there was one who was a boxer recently, and it's really funny. First professional fight. One professional fight as a man. All of a sudden you get a deal with Everlast
the boxing company. You know, all these companies, all these businesses, the whole SJW thing, I think it's a lot more overblown than they realize. I'm wondering if Everlast is even still really a name in the boxing industry, you know, because it seems like that, like they have this campaign. I think there's an amputee fighter that they're sponsoring. There's a family of, I think, illegal immigrants from Mexico. They all fight. I think that they're sponsoring, or they're supposed to be from Mexico or something. I don't know if they're illegal. Let me not put it out there like that. And then this woman who turned into a man. You know what I'm saying? And and she fought, but now technically she, he, whatever you want to say, won that fight by a decision. But the person that they fought, this was on TV, right? This was on like TV, like ESPN or some shit. Your first professional fight as a man. I didn't know you just automatically got to go on ESPN for your first professional fight. And you're fighting a person who is 0-6. And then it goes down to a decision. And what I noticed about it that I didn't notice about a lot of victories. Baker Man in the building, what's the motherfucking deal? And that I don't notice INF Storms, what's the motherfucking deal? Yeah, they're two-time champ. No, Scotty didn't come out. He's bullshitting somewhere under the bed. Who knows? I don't have food for him, so he's an asshole. But I mean, they literally paraded her all around. Well, him got a whole beard, receding hairline. I mean, really switched up. Now they were fighting as a woman for a while. I don't know what their record was as a woman, but again, you know, kind of later on in age, just felt like I was living a lie all this time, and now I feel like a man. Got a better beard than me, man. I'm kind of envious. You know, I might need to go get me some of them shots. So I don't know where you get the beard injections at, but you know, the whole fucking beard. But the craziest thing, I'll give it to him. Like, here's the thing, though. This is what y'all ladies got. It has to be tough to be a man, because when the men turn into women, they don't ever really look like it. Like, they don't ever really look like it. It's like you can notice very masculine features. You're like, that's not a biological woman. Now, there's a few, what's the term that Jay Dizzle uses? Unlucky looking women out there. All right. It is what it is. But for the most part, you can say, that's dude look like a lady. But this one here, but when the women turn into men, I guess this testosterone, it just does something to you. Now, of course, they got to go get if they have any, the tits lopped off, unless you're like little chubby women. And then you can be like, you know, some little chubby niggas that, you know, I guess people got man boobs or something like that. So I guess you can kind of get away with it. But for the most part, the women who turn into men look more like men than, because I guess, you know, when you get toned and more muscular, I guess it makes you look like a man. But anyway, like I said, had the beard, had the whole look and everything. Honestly, like would honestly would be like, hey, you know, you would almost be fooled until that motherfucker started talking.
Yeah, you don't know what I've gone through to get here, and it was just, you know, that was the real fight, and he fought me like a man, and, you know, and I appreciate that, and, you know, all that.
And he was just like, what? What's going on here? Something, something's not right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was, like, what's going on here? Like, it was baffling. It was baffling. And again, there are some men who just, I don't know, man. This voice was just so thrown. Like, she had to be a very high pitched woman or something. Like, it didn't fucking I don't know. Maybe I don't know if it was. I guess they don't have testosterone drinks or something, because whatever testosterone needed to be up in, well, pause. Whatever needed to get the Adam's apple working or whatever, just wasn't there. Like, I know they have the surgery to take away the Adams. They need to have surgeries to bring them back. But anyway, or to create them or something. If you go flip to the other side, like, I would have questions like, what the fuck is going on? But then I got questions as it is, but I got questions that I don't want answers to. So anyway, getting into it though, right? You see, like I said, the overwhelming majority is men going to women's sports and they're taking over and they're dominating. The women are not coming to men's sports and dominating. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not, because again, even with all the testosterone in the world, it's a lot of little niggas who take testosterone, don't make them swole. I mean, I guess you take steroids or whatever, but it's a lot of little niggas on steroids and all this shit still don't do anything for them. So steroids make you stronger. I think maybe outside of weightlifting, I don't think steroids really give you a benefit in like football. Yeah, you get more muscle and you're stronger depending on the position, but it doesn't make you a better player. It doesn't enhance your reaction time and all that other stuff. It just, I guess you get stronger. I guess you get a little bit faster, but that doesn't always mean it makes you good. It gives you little advantage. I guess if you were good in areas you're missing a few tweaks, then maybe that'll give you that boost. But for the most part, I knew a lot of motherfuckers who took steroids in high school and college, and they weren't good. I mean, it just is what it is. Like, I ain't never fucking take that shit. And these guys, they didn't make, I don't want to say they weren't good, but it didn't make them better. It didn't get them any offers. It didn't get them any looks. It didn't push them from college to the NFL. It didn't push them from high school to college. Like, so again, like I say, it can make you a little bit stronger, but it doesn't make you a better player, you know. If that was the case, you know, you would never see any these little skinny, speedy motherfuckers. Anyway, but like I'm saying, though, and my concern is this. Like, you know, I got the little one, right? And she plays soccer and all that stuff that's, you know, getting her encouraged in sports and things of that nature. And I think about it, you know, and, you know, she's not in a super competitive league. I think next season we're going to try to change that up. And it's funny because she used to play in a little co-ed league on the other side of town before we moved. And it was boys and girls play together. It was like, you know, the little kids league or whatever. Boys and girls play together. She was never, she would sometimes be like, you know, maybe the second or third, maybe fourth best player on the team. She would do good, like good things here and there. She has her strengths. But, you know, wasn't ever just really the best player on the field. She had days where she had good games and things. You know, she scored a couple little goals or whatever. She's really good at goalie for some reason, though. But I wouldn't just ever say just the best player on the field. So we move over here, and Lady Honcho puts her in an all-girls league. She asked for that, should have, you know, or she had sent a text before she did it. She'd just be active. She needs to slow down sometime, goddamn it. And she put her in a all-girls league. I didn't see the text message. She asked, should he be in a co-ed or all? I was going to say put her in a co-ed, so there's more of a challenge. But she put her in an all-girls league. Goes to the all-girls league. She's like the best player on the team. He's like, what? Nothing's changed. The soccer skills haven't necessarily improved greatly. She just automatically because one of the better players. The coach loves her. Like, oh, you're the all-star, and like all this. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? She definitely needs a lot of work, and I plan on, you know, working with her and stuff like that. But just out of nowhere, man. And so my thing is just like, what is going on here? Like, what is going on here? But again, it's dramatically different when you see the level of competition. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of them little girls out there are damn good. You know, some of them that are really good. But for the most part, when it was in co-ed competition, it was usually the boys that were better than the girl teammates. I mean, it was what it was. I ain't gonna lie to all of them because there was little soft leagues. I couldn't be no coach, man, because look, I ain't with all that nonsense. Motherfuckers be out there crying and shit. She tried that shit one time. We cut that shit real short. And we ain't gonna have it. I ain't gonna lie, there was a little girl this last weekend. They ended up tying, I think. She got belted in the face. Like, I mean, she stopped the goal though, but she got plastered. Like, she broke down for a second. And then she toughened up because she got like elbowed in the stomach one time. She was out and they were already shorthanded. And then they moved her from, I guess, whatever, midfielder or whatever you want to call it, or in the field, and then they put her at goalie. And it was late in the game. And one of them girls on the other team came out. She was actually pretty good, but she pelted her ass. And it was just like, she stood strong, though. She stood strong. I gave her definitely a round of applause. She was tough, man. So that's the stuff I love to see. Oh, I believe it. I believe it, Baker, man. I do believe society is crumbling right in front of our faces, and we're watching it. I mean, this is, hey, you know, we got front seats to the show because people want to encourage this shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's just oh, you play soccer, Cartier? Okay. Oh, DeMarquis here. Interesting. DeMarquis actually showed up early in the stream as opposed to 10 minutes before it's all over with. But all I'm saying is the fact that this is being allowed, there needs to be a better solution. Because we want to play make believe and say that, oh, there's no because the person who won the cycle said, oh, my body doesn't make testosterone anymore. Bullshit. There's no genetic advantage. Bullshit. Like, you're willing to sit here and make these excuses for yourself when it's scientifically proven, but now we don't want to believe in science anymore, right? And it's so funny what's kind of happened to the left because, I mean, it's kind of funny, like, how parties have traded ideas. 335, Professor Trill in the building. What's the motherfucking deal? You know, it's funny how, you know, didn't the left used to be the science party, the party where we believe in science and, you know, we're not super religious and all this other stuff, and, you know, it's all about science and facts, right? And all this other stuff. Now, when it comes to this, it's no, your science is lying to you, and then it's like the right is trying to present the science like, hey, you know, this is how this works. No, that's not true. This is pseudoscience. They don't want to believe it because it doesn't suit the agenda, it doesn't suit the narrative. I find that funny how that's kind of flipped. There was something else that I was going to say too, but then I forgot. But like I say, it's just extremely crazy how we've gotten to this point. But my thing is, what is the solution? Do you create a league for only trans? Are there enough trans people to compete in those leagues? Would someone watch a trans track meet? You know what I'm saying? Like, because that seems where they all seem to be going. And it makes me sad. Niggas throw a little wig on their head. I got the fucking green screen on, so I guess that impacts the fucking the the fucking thing. But yes, tentacle face. This is terrible. But you know, my thing is, you know, let me show I got some of my tentacles here. Let me get that up out of there. No, it'd be terrible, right? XX League and XY League. But my thing is this, like, again, like I say, you know, if they were to compete against men, and what happens is a lot of these people are not good men. So they take the easier route. It was something I saw. I don't know how many of you guys use Twitter, but appreciate the love, 335. Got this crazy fucking face on my head. I don't know how many of you follow Judge Joe Brown on Twitter. That might be the second best follow on Twitter after O.J. Simpson, right? That's actually a great idea. That's a great fucking idea. I wonder if I think I got one. I got one, nigga. I got one. Yeah, we'll do that maybe for Halloween or some weird shit. But he said a couple of things, right? I'm gonna say a couple of these things. I'm gonna set the den on fire, and then I'm gonna open up the line, right? But they were talking about the reason these men, and especially like a lot in the black community, because you talk about, oh, you know, how tough it is and everything it is going on, that they don't want to deal with these things. And a lot of these motherfuckers don't want to deal with controversy. They don't want to deal with quote unquote oppression. They don't want to be, what's the real word? That's the word I'm looking for. But think about it. Who's not getting gunned down by the police, right? This is a thing that was, this is not necessarily mine. I got, you know, I have my specific views, but he was saying that, you know, the media pushes this narrative that all the black men are getting gunned down by the police, right? But do you ever hear about black trans getting gunned down by the police? So is this a way to stop having to deal with confrontations as a man, and dealing with those confrontations, you start becoming and acting like a woman? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one of the things he was talking about. He was saying something. But the next thing I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna open up the line, and we're gonna get crazy, real crazy here. Make sure you're following the Den Show on all the proper social medias. Judge Joe Brown is a motherfucking fool. The realist. That motherfucker went in on Wendy, and that shit was a thing of beauty. Something he said that would probably upset the LGBT community, right?
K Grace donated $5. Thank King Obama for this gay shit.
Not Billy, Barack Obama. Yeah, the gay president, right? Then you know what? And that might actually be it, because that's when a lot of it, once he started legalizing and started occurring, then he started going to Africa. They ran his ass about Africa. If you don't get on with the horse shit, Obama, we are not with the gay shit. Trying to tell him to be gay. Appreciate the love, Miss K Grace. So here's my thing. Here it is, right? He brought up a brilliant point. And he was talking about pedophiles. And he's like, we have all this hate for straight men, right? We have all this hate for straight guys, but all the people who are molesting the little boys are homosexuals. You know what I'm saying? It's not straight men aren't doing that. Now, straight men may be doing some other things, but for the most part, because if you're a man and you're attracted, little boy, whatever else it may be, you're homosexual. Man on man, male to male. It's homosexual. And so it's all the homosexuals that are harassing these little boys. You know what I'm saying? So, just something to think about when you put it like that, but it is what it is. You cannot blame. Yeah, and let me, do you know what word I hate, the term I hate? That cis word. I hate that shit. It's so fucking stupid. It's not a thing. We don't use that around these parts. All right, give me a second. Let me open up the line, man, and let's take some calls. But I want to know your thoughts. Like I said, I want to know, how you feel about what's going on with the current situation with, it's like an abundance of trans people taking over women's sports, because they're not taking over men's sports. They go to the women's sports, they find success. Oh, the little kid, the little dude, Max, Mikey, something like that, the Texas wrestler. And this is where I have questions, because it's a chick who transitioned to a dude, right? But because UIL rules are that you have to compete with the gender of your biological gender. So I guess, I don't know if UIL is just a Texas thing. Obviously, it's not in Connecticut, because they letting the dudes run against the chicks up there, so UIL must not be up there. But UIL rules state that you have to compete as a gender. So this chick turned dude is wrestling chicks and is like a 2-time state champion. But my question is, if they've transitioned, they've done all this stuff, is she taking steroids to become a man or to become a dude or whatever? And I don't think under the age of 18, you're not legally supposed to be having sex or engaging in sexual type of stuff. You can't watch porn or do all other stuff under the age of 18. You're not supposed to be sexually focused. You shouldn't be able to change your sex under the age of 18. That's just how I feel. Like, at least become an adult. You got to be an adult to do everything else. I think you should have to become an adult to make those adult decisions, But it is what it is. So, do females transition to men at the same rate as men transition? I don't know. My thing is, like I said, I think that the women are almost harder to tell, because, like I say, come on, this is some chicks that if they just got a fade, you like, who is this nigga? You know what I'm saying? Titties and all. Who is this nigga with this fade? This nigga finna catch a fade with this fade. But I think if you lop it off, you start balding, you get all that other shit that go with it. You start getting yoked up because you're taking the testosterone, so you become more muscular. I think the women pass better than the men who go the other way, because you still got all that shit in you. So, because you're just adding, I guess, testosterone. I think the voice is still an issue. That shit's so. Hey, I just want to congratulate my opponent. It was a good fight. He fought me like a man. That shit's crazy. Everything else look good. Give me just a second. Let me make sure you're following the Den Show on all the proper stuff. Let's switch it up. And bada boom, bada bang, Betty boop. Let's get this Den line open. Make sure you call the right number. The number is changed. I know some people have been in and out, and so you may be calling the wrong number. Make sure you're dialing the right one so that you can get through. The number is 855-948-0369. So my thing is this, right? My thing is this. I don't think they act like it, man. I think they still have a lot of feminine ways. Here's my thing is it's super funny because I think with the men who transition to women and the women who transition to men, they act like what they think it is. I don't think I don't think you ever can. It's an image that they try to take on. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling in to the Den this evening?
Hey, what's up? It's Nacho.
Nacho, how you been, man? It's been a minute, Nacho. How you doing, man?
Yeah, been a minute. Not much, man. This whole all this crap is nonsense. My opinion. People could say I'm wrong. That's fine. It's a mental illness. Because I'm sure, I'm not sure how old you are, but I'm sure you remember the days back when you were a kid of tomboys.
Yes.
And for those of you who don't know, tomboys were girls that acted like boys. Doesn't mean they wanted to be boys, but they, did quote unquote boy stuff, get dirty and all that, all that jazz.
Yeah, absolutely. They definitely see a lot of time. And I think that's what you got here, because I seen one of those in that CNN thing, and she's talking about the little girl, she's 9, and she's transitioning into a boy and likes to play hockey. I think you just got a tomboy on your hand and a mom who wants a lot of attention, so they're trying to confuse their kid into doing some other shit. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. But the major difference is you have tomboys, okay? But then you have, my opinion, child abuse, because once you start the testosterone blockers or I guess hormone blockers for male or female, whichever the child may be, it starts changing the chemicals in their brain and starts really screwing them up. Plus, their suicide rate is extremely high. And, I'll say this before I get to my main point. I don't want to see, any of these people end up committing suicide because of this. And this is being pushed onto, these young kids, literally kids, under the age of 18. Once they're 18 plus, I don't care if they chop off everything and say they're this or that. But if they're under 18, they're 17, 16, it's child abuse.
I agree.
Now, I don't know if you've seen the story. It's been floating around on YouTube. I looked into it a little bit, and I was like, you know what? This is too much for me. I'm not going to dig into it any deeper, but what happened was how can I put it? Okay, so sex workers in the adult film industry. This guy was going to do a video with a quote-unquote female. Well, he ended up getting wind and finding out that this quote-unquote female was actually a biological male. And he said, hell no, I'm not doing it.
No.
So what ended up happening is this fake female turned around and I guess filed charges or filed a police report for a hate crime.
Yes.
And they're actually trying to force this man to have relations. I'm trying to keep it PG, because I know your show. I respect you. force them to have relations with this other biological male.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't all these women in the streets chanting "My body, my choice"?
Mm. Yeah, that's what it is. And that's yeah, and I heard about that. That was in I think Britain or England or something like that, and which is crazy over there because you can't do it. Like they're super adamant about that whole situation. You say the wrong, if you call somebody their old name or you misgender, I mean, you get jail time for that kind of shit over there, which is crazy. But yeah, I heard about that story, and again, I agree. My body, my choice, and it's a thing they're trying to do. I've heard a couple of situations here, some in high school, because there was apparently a student who liked another student, but the student was straight and they weren't interested, and so they almost, I think they got in trouble, some kind of trouble, because they wouldn't entertain, the interest of this other stuff. Like, hey, there's a point where there's being respectful, and there's hate crimes, but then there's a point where I just politely decline, or hey, I'm not with that. But then you infringe upon my my rights and my choices just to appease someone else because it's the trendy thing to do.
Exactly. Well, let me ask you this, devil advocate. Put you on the spot. If you had a choice, only two choices, to do a video with a 400-pound woman, biological woman, or a fit, fake female, and they said, we'll give you $1 million if you choose the fit one over the 400-pound one.
How much am I getting paid for the 400-pounder? Am I doing this? Is this pro bono work here?
Let's just say $500,000.
I mean, I need some kind of compensation. I'm gonna go 400 pounds anytime. I mean, shit. If it came down to it, I mean, one, you go with the SSBBW. Hey, we got nothing but love for the BBWs in the den. But no, I mean, come on, man. It's like I said, it's a different thing. And like I say, they try to sit here and say, well, if you're attracted to me because of this, and that. Yeah, I may be attracted to the idea of you. And if you've had some good work done and you fool, or it could be a dark nightclub, whatever it is. But once you know that, hey, you got going on what I got going on, that's not what I'm looking for. How hard is it to say no to that? Why is it improper to say no to that? Because you have the same genitalia. That's not what I'm looking for, and that becomes a hate crime, or that becomes discrimination or something. I don't think that's fair to anybody. Hey.
Yeah. No. Now, I'm not hating on big women. I mean, there's somebody out there for everybody. All different types of shapes, sizes, whatever. But what would you do? Would you do, let's say, 5 years in prison? Or would you do the video with the biological male that identifies as female?
Well, if I'm going to go to jail, we're going to make sure it's a good reason that I'm going to jail, and I'm going to leave it like that. That's
exactly. And this stuff is, of course, I'm joking with you and everything, but man, it's getting so out of hand that now guys that's actually attracted to women, whether they're 90 pounds or 400 pounds, and they come across a quote unquote fake female, or I should say a male, or a man, I'm sorry, not a male, a man, and they don't want to follow through with it, the government is almost stepping in and saying, you either do it or you're going to face the consequence. I mean, where's, freedom going and all this? It's way out of hand.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's super crazy.
And one last thing about the whole trans thing. Do you remember the? I believe I will say her, quote unquote, her Kemah Fox, which was which is a biological male,
Yeah.
was a MMA fighter that ended up fighting the best biological female MMA fighter, and he literally almost killed the girl. He crushed her skull in.
Yeah, that's what I heard about that. That's the crazy stuff. And then I don't think they got too many. I don't think they got any fights after that. And then they were kind of complaining, oh, it's not fair, it's not this, it's not that. Look, man, come on. I don't know where the common sense died. I don't know where reason and sensibility just fell off a cliff. But it's like, come on, you can do all this other stuff. You can get all the surgeries. You can get all the extra stuff. It's obvious. It's blatant. I remember seeing, it had nothing to do with it. I remember seeing two transgenders get in a car wreck and get out and mop these two biological women. And there was nothing like, had that been two men, you'd have all kind of extra charges. And like I say, it's just this, like, I don't know if people are afraid to, I don't know, man. It's such a confusing. I'm talking about they beat the shit out those two chicks too. It wasn't right. But had a man jumped in and fought them, that man would be accused of a hate crime. Had it been any other situation, it'd have been a bad situation. So we're giving like this special halo, these special privileges to people when I don't know how you handle it. Like I said, I don't know how you handle it. I don't know how you deal with it. I don't even know how you do it, man.
Well, my opinion is, I've been saying it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Biological women have actually welcomed this. Even though there might be a lot of women that say, I do not agree with it, they're not voicing their opinion enough on this whole topic. If you stay silent, you're not doing anything. I'm sorry. I would rather voice my opinion and get called a transphobe, this phobe, that phobe, whatever, to make people aware that, look, I don't agree with this, because I mean, all the men. I'll guarantee you, in probably 3 to 5 years, there's going to be absolutely no actual biological female sport left in the U.S. Because mans are taking over it.
No, I agree. But and Nacho, man, I don't mean to cut you off though. But we got the 10-minute rule going on, so I definitely agree with you. I think that it's an issue, and I think more women are starting to speak up now that they start increasing the price of them tampons and maxi pads, because they're gonna have to take those logos and stuff. I think women are gonna start, as a whole, start seeing what's going on. But I appreciate you calling in, man.
All right, I appreciate it.
All right, shout out.
Appreciate it. Take care.
All right,
later.
Bye. But yeah, no, and I agree though, right? Initially, because women are nurturers and caring people and things like that, so they tend to start off gravitating, thinking what's best and what's going on. I'm going to support this cause. These people are being mistreated. They're being treated a certain way, so they tend to have compassion first. But now that, what is the stuff? They're the always with wings. Is that what it is? Now they had to take now they have to take the female logo off of it, because apparently the LGBT community, and it's crazy because it's really the T community that's doing the most off the wall stuff, and the T community is impacting the L community. Like the L's are taking an L, okay, and so my thing with that is, now women who have to deal with periods and menstruation and all this other stuff, and I still haven't seen that commercial. I know y'all told me about the men menstruation commercial, so I'm sure that probably helped fuel this nonsense. And whoever made that commercial, well, it's probably their own fault. But they sit here talking about, everybody, every gender gets periods, and it's not only women, and all this, like, what kind of dumb stuff are we smoking? Like, where are we at in life now that, like, where are we at in life now that this stuff doesn't make sense? Like, how do we get here? And it seems like within the last 2 or 3, it's just gotten crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's just gotten ridiculous to the point where, come on, man, it is what it is, man. But again, like I say, we're allowing people to live in this world where these beliefs are not realistic. If I, as a man, who's always been a man, born a man, I'm not bleeding. I don't, for what? If you have a penis, you're not bleeding. Doesn't work like that. Now I know a bunch of were mad because of I think it's which is weird, the woman to man situation. They still have periods, so I guess that's what it was. So then they're trying to say, well, since those are men, it's again, it's a whole thing, and it's almost like it's built on confusion. The mission is to confuse and undermine. And if you don't like us because we don't like ourselves, and we're going to make you like us so we feel better about ourselves. If you don't like us, you're a phobe, you're this. When these people are self-phobes, I guess you would say. And my thing is, but yeah, again, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's this whole confusing thing because there's only two things, right? Men and women. And there's Z's and T's and Q's and all this other, like, I don't even know what half of this shit means, right? Look, if you have a penis, you don't have the proper plumbing, protocol, situations to give birth to a child. Menstruation period, all that is, what is it, the body's regulation of eggs and shit, ovaries and all that other good shit that go with it. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
Hey, man, it's Solis.
Solis, what's the motherfucking deal, man? What's on your mind?
I don't really believe in all this little transgender athlete stuff because I think it's just mostly male dudes, right, that can't compete at the male level in sports, so they want to go down. And sometimes it could be like college kids too. Like there's a lot of, not college kids, high school kids. There's a lot of them changing because they can get scholarships classifying as a woman. So you take the scholarships away from natural females.
Exactly.
They need to be their own little thing.
Exactly.
To be honest, man.
And that's the biggest issue to me is women are losing. I mean, when it all comes down to this, is what I'm saying, that women are taking the biggest L out of this whole situation. Women were probably their biggest supporters and defenders. They probably kind of got lumped in maybe somewhere with that feminism movement and all this other stuff. Everybody wants to be an ally, but everybody who plays your ally might be trying to take advantage. They may not necessarily be your ally. Now women are losing out on scholarships, opportunities, records, just basic things, and the basic necessities now are going. The cost is going up for women because of the things that these other people are demanding, instead of just saying, "Hey, you know what? This is what it is."
It's a different world we're living in today, man. 5-10 years they could be something else. It's just crazy, man.
I hope we don't ever discover aliens. If we ever discover aliens, it's over with. It's a wrap. The world as we know it is destroyed. But man, I got a question because it was something I wanted to talk about, and this is way off the topic. But what is going on in Mexico, man? I saw you had posted some stuff in the group, and I know does it have something, if I'm not mistaken, something to do with Guzman Chapo's son or something like that?
Oh yeah, all that stuff right there happened in Mexico, man. Like what I posted with the video, that was the day of the shooting of when the cartel were trying to get him out. So with all that going on, like even within, like I've heard stories because I have family like in the valley and stuff. They tell me stories about what's going on in the cartels or whatever. Like look, there's a lot of bodies piling up every day that are being found. Even like in South Padre, they found bodies and stuff like that. So it's just a whole lot of crazy stuff. I mean, but since El Chapo's gone, like it's basically hit for the throne. They want his son to basically be it, but I don't really like talking too much about that, man, because that's just kind of spooky. But
yeah, I feel you. then gonna cut off and come back. It's gonna be a different message going on. Now, I feel you though, man. Okay, yeah. I just seen you post that, so I was just curious about the things that were taking place. I saw it was real wild, a lot of real active out there.
Yeah, it is real active, man. But that's how it is over there, man. If you go to the valley, it's different than Texas. In any other part of Texas, you ever go to the valley, it's little Mexico for real.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Okay. So, what do you think is what do you think is the solution, man? You said that maybe that the trans people should have their own thing. Should they make a third league, or how? I mean, how does that work? Because then you'd have trans gender men versus transgender women. Do they compete against each other? Do you have to have two other dividing groups? I mean, like, how does this whole thing
You
work?
don't really see stories about transgender women like that are trying to be athletes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know one like I'm sure there's someone out there trying to do it, but
Mm-hmm.
that's not. I'm sure if it was more of a dominant thing, it would be taking effect. But it's mainly for the dudes
Yeah.
that are doing it. 'Cause there's a lot more dudes than there are females, and I think they need to be in the league of their own. But will people want to like watch a bunch of cross dressers fucking play sports? Like, is there an open for that? You know what I mean? Is there a market for that? So it's also got to do with how they make money with sports, because sports generate a lot of money, man, and no one wants to see stuff. Like, if I had a daughter and she was like playing against a transgender, I would not want my daughter to play on that thing just because it's an unfair advantage. This is all about genetic makeup. I mean,
I agree. So, what do you think women should do? Should women boycott these events? Like, where they if they're competing?
yes, because at the end of the day, it's destroying women athletics. Like, the whole point of the women's rights movement being started is because for women to vote. And I classify as a woman as someone that was born as a female from birth.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely.
That's facts. Like, you can't change facts, and people want to change facts for some weird reason.
Yeah, that's
proving. I mean,
again, yeah, that's what I'm saying. People want to change the facts to fit their narrative. I mean, come on, man. It takes two to tango. There's only one way kids are being born on this earth without intervening with all type of weird scientific procedures and things. Now, I can understand fertility clinics to help women, do the things that they naturally do. But when you start doing all this extra shit, I'm saying when I was really, really done with the shit was when I seen it was a story like the dude basically, in a sense, he used his sperm. I think somebody's sister's egg, and then they put it in his mom. So legally, his mom is the mother of his child. Like, yeah, so his mom carried the shit. Like, this is where people are. Like, this is the crazy shit that people are doing now, and and people are like, oh, this is a beautiful thing. That's real mother-son love. No, that shit almost seems incestuous. It's like it's all crazy, man. The shit that's going on right now. We've reached peak wokeness, and it's disgusting. Like it's gonna be the downfall. Like it's all downhill from here.
and see, this is when people got to stand up. I mean, I feel like the biggest hit it's gonna take is when you got a professional, like that was a male, going to the professional sports realm as a woman. That's when it's really gonna take a hit, and that's when I think you're really gonna see like people, especially male athletes, say something about that, because I think as a male and you trying to be an athlete in a female game, I think that's weak.
Yeah. I think so too. Dwayne Wade needs to do it. Shit, he with the shit. He might as well. He had a great NBA career. He can go to the WNBA for a season. It will inspire his son since he's calling his son a girl now, and they can all figure it out from there. He can take one for the cause.
Dwayne Wade is doing that?
No, but you call it, because Dwayne Wade has an 11-year-old son that he was letting go to the pride parades and things like that. And then he just, I think last week or maybe the week before, there's a picture of him, the son, the wife Gabrielle Union, and I guess the actual daughter.
See, that's another thing too. Like, I know in Canada, like if your child says they want to be a girl or whatever, like you have to physically like change them as a girl, or whatever, if they were a boy. Like some weird law like that, which is true. But that's wrong too, because I'm not even a fully developed man yet. Like 25 they say is a fully grown man. So as a fucking 14, 15-year-old trying to say, oh, I want to be, you don't know what you want. Like, that's the thing. I still don't know what I want. I still have to make up my mind and shit.
Yeah.
So, like, you're not fully developed to the concept of where this is what I want to do and I'm going to go do it. And this is another thing they don't talk about. Like, the transgender community, they have a lot of suicides, a high-ass suicide rate. I wonder why. It's because people be changing their goddamn shit and they be kind of regretting it after the fact. But
Yeah.
this is before and after the death, like, or before and after the change. Like it's just tied on both sides.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I say, my personal belief is, like I say, I think a lot of this stuff is encouraged, and I'll say it again, that I think the medical industry is behind a lot of this because, instead of diagnosing a lot of these people because it was a guy who transitioned from a young age and then went back and he found out what it was, that he had a lot of a variety of mental issues, and he kind of looked it up. He started studying it for himself after he had the whole transition and had been on hormones and did all that stuff, and he found out that his real problem was not, that he was the wrong gender or anything like that. That it was that he had some mental problems, and so he went back and he's been trying to help other people. Then they had a situation. I think they had a couple of hundred young people who are detransitioning or trying to transition back, but I'm pretty sure there's a certain point where irreversible damage has been done, to your body that you'll never be normal.
I mean, I think as soon as you commit that line as a dude to snip, I mean, that's irreversible in itself. I mean, that's something. I don't know how people want to go through that, but that's just something. That's like when you've already crossed the line and you're still going.
Yeah.
Because at that age, you shouldn't want to even try to do that because you don't know what you fully want.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like people trying to put hormones in their kids. Like when you're putting hormones into 11, 12-year-old, they're still gonna have the body of a dude somewhat.
Yeah.
That's just the bone structure, the physical frame. It's just all of the genetic makeup of a male.
Mm-hmm. So
if you're trying to do this to 16, 17, they're already kind of set the frame for what their body's gonna look like. They just haven't grown into it yet.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's a wild world that we living in. It's crazy that this has become it's just become acceptable. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Well, that's about anything else that you'd like to add to this, Leads, man?
Nah, man, that's it. Have a good night, man.
You too, man. I appreciate you calling in. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
It's Belle, and I've been waiting behind 3 men in order to get my call in. Now, this is a woman's issue tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We should have been put to the front of the line on this damn thing.
Politics.
I will say, the calls from the guys were great, so I got no issue. But it's like, it takes 3 guys before 1 woman can get ahead. And now you want to put them back on our sports team? That's bullshit. I never get outraged about anything. This I'm pissed off about. I am outraged about, okay? I played sports growing up. Back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, it was extremely critically hard for females to get equal funding, equal play time in order to play the same goddamn sports as men, and it pisses me the hell off. There's there's very few things that I get upset about.
Yes.
This is one of them.
Okay. So, what do you? Because we see what the impact is.
More irate. I am irate about this. What?
So we see kind of what the impact is starting to become, and as more people do it, because it's going to happen, because people are encouraging it and supporting it. What do you think would be the proper solution to kind of nip it in the bud before it becomes a full takeover of women's sports?
It should be whatever your born biological self was, because genetically that does not change. Your bone mass and muscle mass don't change when you change from a male to a female. It's just sexuality. Yes, they say that, you may grow more hair, you may, this, that, and the other thing may happen. However, your biological structure came from the time you came out of the womb. And if you're changing that, as it is, men have, 20 or 30% more muscle mass than females have. Because that's DNA, genetically, how they were designed. Women were genetically, we're 20 pounds, 20% heavier because we're for those that can carry children for children bearing. Our bone structures are all set up different. And it doesn't matter whether a man is 120 pounds and the woman's 280 and nothing but muscle. It's the fact that structurally and DNA genetically wise, we are actually different. Whether the hormones have nothing to do with genetic structure. All you're doing is changing the chemicals, but you're not changing what's already there. Do you know what I'm saying?
No. I get you.
And, I mean, as it is, the WNBA does not get half or a quarter as much play time as the NBA does. Do you even want to go there?
Yeah, I would be honest. The WNBA it's not the most entertaining sport, but I think women should still have an outlet.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying that money's not put to them like it is with the NBA.
But they're actually losing money. The WNBA, they said they've been since they've come into existence because the NBA helps fund what they do, and they've actually been losing money. And I know that's been an issue with a lot of the women because they say, that they have to not only play in the WNBA, but they have to go overseas. And they're actually more popular overseas playing for those foreign teams than they actually here in America. And they were talking about the chick who just won MVP, and nobody basically knows her. And then she doesn't really make a lot. They were comparing it to LeBron. But at the same time, I think that it is an issue. But you look at the stands, you look at the attendance, and you look at the people who are like it has to make sense for it to make money.
Okay, let me ask you this. Is it promoted as much as the NBA? Hell no, it's not. So how are you going to bring in the stands when the only thing you're promoting is your NBA and you're not promoting the WNBA?
But at the same time, because they just have the WNBA championships. If I'm not mistaken, a couple of weeks back, I think I saw it on ESPN or ESPN2, whatever it was. I had no idea that it was already in the finals. I'm gonna be honest, I stopped watching whenever Houston got out of the league. But my thing is this again? Is it a risk to take if I say, hey, we start promoting this? People know that there's a league, but it doesn't seem to be much interest. But if we put a bunch of money in promoting this, and actually they just put the WNBA on the NBA 2K, the big basketball game, which so they actually started adding women to the game that wasn't a thing before. So there are different elements in which they're trying to go and get them out there. They do the all-star game tandem thing, so they do like a male and female, drills and things like that. But if they're not getting a response, would it be wise to inject more money in it, with possible losses coming from that?
Okay, financially, yeah, I can agree with that. However, did you know that it was 1990 before the first female could actually wrestle high school, and it ended up being against boys?
What?
Yeah, it wasn't until 1990 before the first girl could wrestle boys in high school, because they didn't have a female league for the girls to wrestle with.
No,
it was like I think it was 89 or 88 before the first girl played football on Little League. Girls were always deemed to play football, whereas boys had baseball. And so to keep things fair, for financial reasons, that's the reason that the boys get cheerleaders, is so that they could consider cheerleading a sport for the boys playing football. Which is why you have a lot of them that run track in the spring and long distance in the fall, so they can get a sport in.
So do you consider cheerleading a sport, or do you think it's just kind of something that they did?
Yes and no. I definitely think it can be competitive. I don't think that it's the same league as football or even tennis for that matter, but it has a place. And I know that men have contributed to that as well as women have. I wouldn't say I've ever seen an all-male cheering squad, but it probably has happened.
They don't want that. Nobody wants that.
But it just is a little Neanderthal, where the fact is most of the cheerleaders are female for all the male sports games going on. And you don't really ever see, like we said, an all-male squad, cheering on the softball team. So... And it's like, now y'all want to be women, and so you want what? More of what we have? I mean, come on. It's one of the few times that I get really frustrated. The thing is even Bruce Jenner, I mean, he didn't do this until he was over his career. Can you see him going back and trying for the Olympics as whatever her name is? And I'm sorry, I don't remember right at the moment, but
you're being a transphobe. You're being a transphobe right now.
I was having a trans blank moment is what I was having. Caitlyn Jenner.
Okay.
Can you see Caitlyn Jenner going back and trying to compete in the Olympics? Well, age-wise, it wouldn't happen. But the other thing is biochemically, that person was born male. Biogenetically, they are born male. I mean, I've had this conversation with you before. You know, if you're bleeding out your backside once a month, you need to go have your colon checked because it has nothing to do with the menstrual cycle.
That's tough.
You know, hormonally, men do have PMS. I will definitely give you that. I was married for a long time. And hormonally wise, yeah, they do kind of go with women that way, but not physically. Yes, they get bitchy. Yes, they get grumpy. Yes, they have the attitude, but physical, no, there's no physical, they need a hot water pad on their belly and, pampering to make sure that they get through the next 5 days. But the other thing, too, is women don't have prostates. It's not something I want to hear about. I heard about my husband's for years. Who wants to hear about somebody's prostate? So, my real pet peeve is men wanting to compete in female sports.
Okay. I can understand
on
that.
any level. I do understand that a lot of the transgender actually have to go into solidarity. I think it was only La was talking about that. I don't know how to pronounce her name. But what it is they have to go into solitary because if they do dress out and they put them in male population, that they can be raped, and it has happened. Not all counties, not all jails, not all prisons are set up like that, but sometimes they do and sometimes they don't, depending on what the crime was.
That's tough. That's all bad stuff. Yeah, I think they put some of those. They give them. I know. In Harris County, they give them like a different band or something. They put them in a different because they I think it's like a different colored bands or something you get, and that they put them in a whole different area.
Yeah, what do they call that? Pods or something?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It was just
units or something that they're all together. I mean, so what? We have to have a transgender prison system now?
That's
I mean, talk about topsy-turvy. I mean, no disrespect, because everybody's sexuality is their own, but when you put it out there, and those of us who have gone down one line of questioning and everybody's throwing all this other shit in, it's like, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I'm not disrespecting anybody, and everybody has a right to their own LBGT title and whatever they want to be and whoever they want to be, and if that makes them stronger. But pushing on the rest of us is not always cool. They have a right to feel what they feel, but it doesn't mean that I have to be happy about it. And it doesn't mean I hate them either. It just means that there's just certain things I'm just not tolerating the bullshit on. And, where does it stop? I mean, so many people have said things about this, and I am so mad I can't even see straight. I'm pissed.
Okay, calm down, woosah. Take a deep breath.
Just when it comes to the sports and stuff, because it's taken women a really long time to get the amount of natural-born women the time to be able to get equal rights when it came to playing sports. I mean, even the PGA with golf, the LPGA, they actually are pretty on the level equal when it comes to money purses. Tennis is another one that it's pretty balanced. Okay, I'm going off and I'm probably past my 10 minutes, but I just needed to get that out. I was just, yeah. But congratulations on the little one playing soccer. It's always awesome to see kids playing sports.
Oh yeah, I love it. I enjoy it most when she does bad, and I get to chastise her because I'm a mean person. Nah, but she's actually picking up some pretty good stuff. Cause she used to get mad at like her teammates with stuff with bad things, like if they messed up or they let somebody score or something like that. I caught her one time kind of like giving a super dirty look or kind of giving me, and I got on her ass about that. And now, she starts pep talking. She's changed her whole personality when it comes to that. If they do bad, something bad happens, she goes and she high fives them and encourages them. Hey, it'll be all right. We'll get it together and all that other stuff. So, there's some life lessons that can always be taught in sports, and that's why I enjoy playing it the most. So, yeah, it's definitely a cool.
That's awesome. You're teaching her good sportsmanship. That's really cool. The thing is I don't remember who told me, but it was like, it's one thing to be it's one thing to be a good winner, but it's also another thing to be a gracious loser too, because sometimes we don't always get it.
I agree.
But anyway, that's kind of it for me, and I'll chill out. But yeah, I don't let too much shit get to me, but that really does when it comes to the sports. Because, women have fought for a lot of things, and, for biologically born men to do that is like, that's bullshit.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that, and I think it's only going to get worse. Everything that women have fought for, it's only going to get worse the more they allow this and the more they entertain this stuff. So something has to happen, and something has to happen soon. But I appreciate.
And you're right.
Okay.
No, let me just say this. You're right, but the other thing is, and I think you said it too. Where's the last line get crossed, or where is it to the point that we don't cross any more lines with this?
Yeah.
Because it seems like everything is just kind of gray area now all the time, and you don't know what minefield you're going to step on if you call somebody he and it's a she, or she and it's a him, or they, or though, or the, or what the hell,
Man, I'm at the point where I just don't give a fuck. Whatever comes with that, comes with it. I don't have time to entertain all these, changing. I mean, these things change daily, it seems like, and I'm not finna waste, time trying to figure it out. So,
I agree.
So it is what it is.
All right, on that note, I'm out of here.
All right, Miss Bella, I appreciate you calling in and sharing your thoughts.
All right, night.
Good night. Oh, man. I see Miss B. Moore in the building. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Okay, I got on here.
Miss Grace in the place. How you doing this evening? Huh?
Love you, but you need to shut it down, girl. It's almost time for me to go to sleep. I take my rest seriously.
Yeah.
I've always been this way. I take my naps. But listen, this morning it was just a wonderful thing driving my granddaughter to school and listening to Rashida speak, because she has such a beautiful voice and a beautiful way of speaking. And then when I got to the gym, I put my little earbuds in and I whipped out listening to my Honcho's voice.
That's what I'm talking about. I hope I inspired, at least motivated the workout a little bit.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. The situation here, people need to be realistic. You know what I mean? We are really in a battle, good versus evil. Really, it's really bad. And Barack Obama, Hussein Obama, this gay thing, he pushed it over the top. And he did. And then in the last few years, they have been just playing it and working it and just pushing it full-fledged all the way. You know what I mean? And it's getting so bad that we're not going to be able to get a handle on it. And I see this coming even in the schools. You know what I mean? Once again, Honcho, we're rewarding bad behavior and we're rewarding the lesser people, because when people show compassion towards the lesser people, it makes them look virtuous.
Yes, exactly.
Even if being kind is being an asshole. Like down the street from me, they have these panhandlers as well. And my son was, you got to give them, you got to feel sorry for them. My son was here this summer. We drove by. The guy's sitting out there eating a freaking sub sandwich. Okay?
Yeah.
My son and I went up to Tajay's, not Target, Tajay's, 45 minutes, come back down the street, the guy's holding that same goddamn sign up that says starving.
Wow.
You mean because we're rewarding that bad behavior? Because if you call them out, if you say anything, you look like a bad person. If you say anything to anybody that's gay, you look like a bad person. If you say anything about anybody having abortions, you look like a bad person. But they can't look like bad people for killing and aborting full-term babies. People need to. I'm not going to be on the side where they murder full-term babies. I cannot be on the side where full-grown men get to go in little girls' bathrooms and people start changing their genders because my God made 2 genders, and that is it. You mean I told you about that place down the Cape, P-Town, for years and years and years. It was a safe haven for the gay people. It was wonderful. The cobblestone streets on the water, the little sex shops. You mean they had the best restaurants. You know what I mean? Everything, the best drinks, the best liquor, the top shelf, all of that. But they were concentrated every summer right down there. They would have their drag shows. But once they became more accepted and they gained more rights, they spread out till now P-Town is dead. You mean? We need to get it together because we need to pick a side. Either you're on the side of the people that are for that. If people want to be gay, that's their business. But all of these, with these kids changing their genders and, you know what I mean, and that foolishness, it's gone too far. And we're not going to be, it's like squeezing the toothpaste out of the tube. Yeah. You're not going to get it back in.
I agree.
So that's all I wanted to say because I don't want to say too much because I'm going to leave other people, you know what I mean, get on the telephone because I try not to hog it up. Plus, I hate talking on the phone because when I listen to myself, I always say, you know what I mean, you know what I mean, you know what I mean.
There's nothing wrong with that. Trust me, I say it quite often myself. I love hearing you, Miss Grace, so don't feel any particular kind of way. I love when you call in, and I think the dear folk enjoy it too.
Thank you so much. But I'm going to lay here and listen until I fall asleep.
All right. Well, I appreciate you calling in this evening, Miss Grace. It's good to hear from you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you. Shout out to Miss Grace. I mean, it was a nice call from Miss Grace. This next call, I don't know so much. We're going to see. My fault. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling in to the den?
Hey, Honcho. How you doing, Honcho?
How you doing, Miss Rashida? How are you this evening?
Oh, I'm great. And I want to let you know about yourself because after my call yesterday, you thought I didn't hear you, but I heard you.
What I said?
Time out. You know what you said, trying to talk about my call and stuff. Like it wasn't good.
What I said?
Like I took the show down or something.
Oh, I remember what you said. That was terrible. Yeah, she look, you. Yeah, we was on track. We was just everybody was on the up and up. It was all sunshine and rainbows. And then and the call was good. It was like 92% solid, and then just that last little 8% just. It was just like a thunderstorm came in, washed away all the rainbows, and blocked out the sunshine. Little kittens and puppies were drowning from the overflow. It just kind of changed the game at the end of that call that last time. But Miss Rashida, how are you today? I mean, what is on your mind? How do you feel?
Great. And I want to let Miss Grace know that I appreciate her compliment. That was very nice of you. Mm-hmm. And also, I really like your calls too, Miss Grace. Mm-hmm. I always like listening to you. And Miss Bill. Miss Bill, I always love your calls. Okay. So, about this transgender thing. How do I feel about it? I just feel like it's time for the bullshit to end. It seems like it's just getting started, but it needs to be over with.
And so, what do you think should be? I mean, what is a solution to, stopping some of this stuff? Because again, like I said, I'm not about, hurting nobody or doing it. I think people should have access to doing things that they enjoy, but it shouldn't infringe on other people. What do you think that we can what do you think we could do as a society that, eradicates this problem where women aren't getting pushed to the side, where men can just say, hey, I'm a woman today, go break a bunch of records or steal that glory, and, where women can still benefit from being women?
I think they should raise the age of being a transgender to 21. Yeah, yeah. So that eliminate a lot of them trying to come in and participate in school sports and everything. Yeah, that's what we need to do.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Because your body not even fully developed, you know what I'm saying, until you reach a certain age. So why are they giving these kids hormones to change their body? They don't know the long-term effects of that kind of mess.
I agree. Yeah, I think there should be a age limit. If you can put an age limit on drinking and you can put an age limit on cigarettes. I think they just upped the age limit on cigarettes because these things do harm to your body. Then why wouldn't it be an age limit on these other things that could, potentially have long-term permanent effects on, your development? So I could agree with that.
Exactly. And I feel like that some of these trans women are getting into the sports in the women category because they feel like it's easier and they can rise to the top quicker. Because transgender's been around a long time, but they wasn't necessarily competing with women. So I'm trying to figure out, is this something new that they just allowing, or what's the issue?
Yeah, I think it's a relatively new thing because, once everything started becoming acceptable, and again, I'm not saying anybody should be, if you want to be identified as a fucking pink monkey or whatever you want to be, you want to have you feel free to do it. I just shouldn't have to sign up for it. But once we got to this point where if you say anything negative about how people think about themselves, then you're the bad guy. When, hey, it's just reality. That's where we start fucking up. And so when it becomes
like natural women don't want to go against the transgender women because they feel like they fighting against women rights somewhat. But I don't feel like that. I feel like that what you're doing is infringing on natural women and their hard work.
So what do you think about this? This is something I wanted to mention because this is a funny thing that I heard. What about trans lesbians? And so what that is a man.
What the hell?
I'm going to explain. A man that transitions into a woman, but still likes women, right? And so, because there's a big issue apparently going on in this community with the trans lesbians. Because
that's Caitlyn, right?
What happened?
That's Caitlyn, right?
I don't know. Is that? I thought he was with another.
She had a woman. Remember, she was trying to have a baby with her girlfriend.
Oh, I thought that was another transgender. I thought that was some trans on trans stuff.
No, Caitlyn talking about having a baby and she's 60.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
And her girlfriend in her 20s or something.
Yeah, that's wild. But so yeah, I guess so that situation. But what a lot of them are saying is that now they're calling and this is why I say it's infighting amongst the group that's supposed to be unified, because now they're calling lesbians transphobic because lesbians don't want to fool with the men who have transitioned to women. But lesbians don't like penis. I mean, this is ultimately it's all about the genitalia. But you have like with the T community, they try to feel like the genitalia is irrelevant. Everything else is what matters, or however you want to call it. So my thing is like, how do you feel about that situation?
Ooh, I don't want no parts of none of that. That's all the way crazy right there. Like, oh my goodness! First, the men have to accept a woman with a penis, or they transphobic and homophobic, and now as a woman, I got to accept another woman. They gotta. I don't know. I'm confused. I'm confused. I wish we could just go back to men and women. It's men and women. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, and again, like I say,
But it's like the further we go, the more something else come along.
right.
Now you
And
got people that don't want to have no kind of gender. They don't want to be gender identified.
and that's very interesting that you brought that up, Sean. What's the motherfucking deal? But that's
Hey,
interesting
sunshine.
that you brought that up because it's like, so you do have this non-binary thing, right? And
Mhm.
so one day they may feel male, the next day they may feel female. Like, how are you supposed to know these things? And then you have the pronoun thing and all this other stuff. So it's like, how are you supposed to know? How is a person who's not a part of that community, who doesn't really affiliate or associate with those type of situations, how are you supposed to know? I don't want no education course. I don't want no what's the stuff they give cops whenever they have a issue and they have to give them like not sensitivity training or something. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that because I don't encounter enough people like that in my life to do that, and I don't necessarily plan on it. I don't have the time to, and I don't think I'm interested in doing any of that. So like, how is a person supposed to know? Like, I mean, you just people get upset. People in certain countries now, it's illegal to call somebody their wrong name, the wrong sex, any of this stuff. Like, what is going on, man?
I
What
just ask them what their name is. That's it.
you just gonna call them by their
Whatever
name?
your name is. Yeah. If I don't know your name, I ask you your name, and the name you give me, that's what I call you. So
Okay.
I mean, when your back turned, I might call you something else.
Mm.
But the name you give me, the name you give me is what I'm gonna call you. So
That's tough,
you know
man.
how like you don't know whether to say sir or ma'am. I guess that's what you mean.
But
But
Shannon,
see,
that's
like I think sometimes they have a problem when you told them to call you sir and you call them ma'am. Maybe by accident or you trying to be funny.
but okay. I don't know. I guess you. I'm trying to say because Shannon, what you sound like you saying is something different. Are you talking about? Are you talking about trans men, Shannon, who try to be with other men? And then they're gay or whatever, like trans. I don't. How do you? I don't know. There's too much shit going on. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like all these ins and outs. Um,
But like the trans men still have a vagina.
Yeah, and so would the gays not want to be with the trans men since they have a vagina? That's not what they looking for.
I thought they were all in the same family. I
No,
don't know.
it's a
That's
complicated.
weird.
Because what I'm trying to figure out, because like I said, if the trans lesbian is issue, so trans lesbian would be a man turned into a woman that wants to date women, but lesbian
Right.
women don't are not interested because lesbian women, I'm assuming, don't like uh, biological men. People were born biologically male. They don't like penis, even though they probably buy all the dildos and stuff. But then, so a trans gay or a trans would be a woman who turned into a man
Mhm.
that still likes men, but then the gays they don't like pussy, so they don't want that. So it's like that's what I'm saying. It's like a whole
But then they
confusing.
trying to force that on us. Like you a heterosexual man, but a trans woman approach you and they got a penis, and you don't want that. They try to call you transphobic.
Oh well, I'm transphobic then. I mean, it is what it is. I guess I am.
Right.
So
Exactly. That's like if a trans man, because I'm getting all confused. If a trans man approached me and they still got their vagina, you know what I'm saying? I don't like vagina. I'm heterosexual, so I would be considered transphobic, I guess, because they supposed to be a man. That shit is stupid.
fucking 335. It is confusing, like I'm honest. Like I talk to the little one every day, and I ask about what have you learned in class? What did they talk about? Because I'm just waiting for the day that they start having them conversations. Because I'm going to make sure that I'm on top of that. Because
Right.
regardless of we teach tolerance and respect, but we just don't believe in certain ideals. You know what I mean? And so we
Mm-hmm.
want to make sure it's young before they put all this stuff in their head, before they put all these ideas in their head that this is that and that is this, especially when they're young and impressionable, to be there to combat those ideas, to explain to her how things work. So, but like I say, because it's confusing for adults. So imagine a little 8, 9-year-old kid, they sure as shit don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like they,
Exactly.
They don't fucking know, and especially when you're getting told this from, authority figures, teachers, and counselors or whomever is telling you this. You think that it's facts, man. You think that it's supposed to be the way it is. And I agree, Slick Whips, that it should be taught at home. But you see a lot of these places now, they're starting to try to implement this. I saw in California they had somewhere they were giving out the permission slips, and that they were going to be teaching this and this, and some of them were doing it without telling the parents anything. And again, at young ages. I think in one it was like in 5th grade, and some of them in those very young age. Like in elementary, you shouldn't be worried about anything sexual. I don't think it should be nothing. I think in junior high, that's probably around the age I think a lot of kids are going through those changes and things. Whatever you have some of those conversations. Then high school, it is what it is. But I think when you start getting at these kids young,
I don't think they should be. I don't think that should be in school. I think that should be taught at home.
Yeah.
I don't understand why the gay agenda has to be up in the school. Why do I have to go talking to my kids about things that I don't feel like they ready for? Because you and your kids is confused over there. We ain't confused over here. We know he's a boy, she's a girl, but we understand what's going on around here.
See, but that's what I'm saying, and that's the thing though, because now they want to make sure everybody's in a safe environment and everything. So then they gonna make sure, well, you need to understand this person and why they feel. But it ain't what it is. And then I saw that.
And when it comes to the sports thing, as far as like the kids' sports and everything, I'm glad I'm not a parent, because somebody do something to my kid out there, I'm going out there. They just gonna have to tell me to lead the game. We gonna find out what's going on this right then and there on the spot.
Now you gotta let kids overcome challenges in a controlled environment. That's why sports is good. It teaches those lessons. That's why I say it's been times. Look, I ain't gonna lie. I want to say last year, sometime she first started playing. It was one time, when she got beamed in the face and she hunched over for a second. She cried for a little second. I said, "Hey, get up. Ain't nothing wrong with you. Get up." And she sniffled for a second, got back in the game, and I think she ended up scoring like 2 goals later after that. So I say, look, so if you'd have cried and went out the game and all that other stuff, you wouldn't be feeling good. It's one of them it's a little hoe ass participation league. I hate it, but it is what it is.
She would have felt a lot better if she had been that child back. See, that's how I teach my nephew.
Nah, but see, she soft. Y'all gotta understand the little one is the little one is soft, because I see that. Now what I have to do with her is my biggest gripe with her is I have to tell her to stop being so soft. When it's competition, man, that don't matter. Because girls are the most vicious ones. Y'all be catty in everyday life competition, not just on the field. But she'll accidentally trip somebody. She want to stop in the game and be like, "Oh, you all right?" I'm like, "Hey, you ain't no nurse, you ain't no doctor. You worry about that goddamn ball, and you motherfucker worry about scoring. You worry about don't worry. Hey, look, if they hurt on the field, their parents will get them or somebody will get them. That's not your job. You worry about winning. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about none of the rest of that other shit. That's not your job. You come out here to compete." To win, and we talk about, like I say, after every game we talk about what's good, what's bad, but all that friendly stuff. Look, your teammates, that's who on your side. If it's the other team and they fall, they get her good. Take advantage of the situation. We're gonna play all that.
But you know what I've been noticing? These transgenders been looking awful, because like when I see pictures of them, they done won a title or something. They look like a man. I thought he was a man. I ain't know nothing about you being a transgender. You just look like a straight up man to me.
You know what? That's funny, because they probably can't do that. You remember Mad TV, that little skit with the little Asian woman, or whoever used to play the little Asian woman? He looking like a man. You probably couldn't do that today. You probably couldn't do that shit. They'll cancel all the Mad TV off that shit, man. We in a different day and age. But it is what it is. But Miss Rashida,
somebody earlier had brought up this is my last point right here. Somebody earlier had brought up the story about the little girl that was found dead.
Yeah,
her name was McKinley, and she was from Alabama. She was 3 years old. They called her Cupcake. That was her nickname. And she was at a birthday party, and she was abducted from the birthday party.
Wow.
And yeah, so.
Did they find out who abducted her?
Her boyfriend and girl. A girl. I had sent you a picture of her on your to the DM line.
Okay. Let me see.
And it says like rest in peace.
I'm gonna have to check. If you send it to this number, because I don't think I get pictures on this one. I think the other one used to, but this line, I don't think I don't think it gets pictures on this
Okay.
one. So
Yeah, I
I
had sent it to this one.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but you can look up the story. Her name was Camille McKinley.
Camille McKinley.
They just called her Cupcake. Yeah.
It's
Camille with a K.
Okay.
Yeah, she was from Alabama. Yeah, from Alabama, and they found her remains inside a dumpster.
Wow. And that's what I'm saying, man.
But see, my issue is, and I don't want to blame the parents because I know they grieving. But how could you leave her outside at the park at 8 p.m. for a birthday party? I just didn't understand.
What?
That's that's the part that's getting to me.
Yeah, they're gonna
unattended with the other kids. There's some other kids out there too.
Nah, you're gonna have to do a little bit more talking to these parents. So that sounds.
And he was out there passing out candy or something to the different kids, and the kids the ones identified him. So.
Yeah, no, that's.
But she was only 3 years old. Why is she even that close to the street? But you know what I'm saying? Put her in the car or whatever. They found him because they had the car. And they had a video and they had the car and everything. So.
Yeah, ain't no way
that
more
details will come out.
Yeah, so I'm gonna look into that. I didn't know about that.
Much more information than that because I don't know all the information because everybody sad right now. So we'll find out more as they complete their investigation because they really don't have a motive right now because they saying they didn't do it, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that.
But they found porn pictures on his phone, but it wasn't a hub. But they did find child porn.
No, when he did it, he did that shit. He did that shit. He probably did
but
some.
But how can she, as a woman, do some shit like that? It was him and his girlfriend.
Man, but you see these stories all the time. It's a lot of women. Were they black?
Yes, unfortunately. Okay. And Camille was also black.
Okay, yeah, because you see a lot of the time, man. I mean, shit. It was the one who was up in was it like New York or somewhere on the East Coast a couple of months back. She was letting that dude basically do it to her baby. She's supposed to be her boyfriend, and she was like, so I mean, it's a lot of women like that. I've known people personally. Well, there was a chick I used to talk to a while back. Her sister was with a dude. She had 2 daughters, I think, from another man. He was violating, and she knew it. And eventually the family found out what was going on, but she was letting it happen. She knew what was going on, but just to say you got a man or just to say you got somebody around, that shit ain't fucking worth it. You putting your children at risk. You letting them get violated and tormented, basically, and then when they get taken away all of a sudden, here's my thing, and this is why I say, about moms. People say, well, I'm a mother. I don't give a shit. I'm going to be honest with you. Just because you're a mother don't mean you're a good mother. There's a lot of mothers that leave their kids everywhere else, all around the country, and then, come see them every now and then and act like they're a good mom. Just because you say you're a mother, I don't give a shit. You leave them at grandma's house to go hit the club and do all this other shit, and you here and there and in the wind. Or I know chicks who done found a new dude. They basically kick the kid out and send the kid back to their grandparents because you got a new man or whatever. And it's just like, just because you had a child doesn't make you a good mom. You can be a mother, but that does not qualify you as a good mom. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I say that shit don't mean shit to me.
You don't want to, point fingers at the parents because they grieve. It's kind of hard to say why the hell you weren't watching your 3-year-old child.
It ain't that hard.
But that's something I kind of that's how I kind of feel.
This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look it up, and like I say, try to kind of get updated on the story. So we might talk about this tomorrow because I'd like to know a little bit more details. Try to understand what's going on. It's definitely something we can talk about.
Well, definitely. I'll be in the different groups trying to gather more information, so I'll be prepared. Maybe I can give y'all a few more details.
All right. Well, look, don't look. You be polite in them groups and don't get kicked out now.
I'm just gonna learn. I'm gathering information.
All right.
Well, I'm gonna wrap it up.
All right. Well, I appreciate
And
you
don't
coming.
forget my pistachios. No, you don't ever appreciate my
I
coffee.
always appreciate
Because
your
when
call.
Grace gave you a compliment, you didn't even agree with it. You just like,
I was like,
I ain't gonna know.
nah, because you and I and the rest of the den know what took place within that last call. Yeah, the voice may sound lovely, but the content was questionable at best.
Oh wow! And for those that are interested, yes, I did go to that channel and watch the other parts of the prison stories. Yeah, it was quite interesting. But I'm not gonna give any details of what I observed.
Yeah, please don't. Thank you.
Oh, no problem, no problem. I'll save it for being after dark.
No, Lord, we gonna have to cancel that before it even starts. Uh,
Wow.
well, but I appreciate it.
Wow. Okay then.
All
All
right.
right.
Well,
That's
thank you.
good then.
All right, you have a good evening.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye bye. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Oh, it's my turn, goddamn! Finally.
What's on your mind, Professor Trio, man? Or is it prepaid? Is it Professor Trio? I don't know, because certain people in this group act like they can't tell the difference. But what's the motherfucking deal, Professor Trio, man? What's on your mind?
Oh, y'all not gonna like this,
All right.
but I happen to disagree with y'all.
What?
Yes.
All right, talk to us.
Yep, here we go, Broderick. You're right. And I'm reading the chat, so I'm ready to tell any one of you motherfuckers that y'all been reckless these past 5 days. I decided to spare y'all a little bit and just kind of let y'all make it. But, yeah, it's my turn now, goddamn. First of all, I think it's a beautiful thing. Because to me, this new trans shit is basically reverse feminism. Now y'all get to see what it's like for the opposite sex to invade y'all space and to have a powerful machine behind it. Yes. Correct. First of all, it ain't like women's sports is any good to watch anyway. That's the shit that none of y'all wanted to say. Ain't none of you females in here watching women's sports like that. Seriously. Y'all not. Nobody watching. Why you think the women, and then they get bad. But we don't get paid as much as the men because you don't generate as much as the men. It's really fucking simple. But y'all women lining up to watch the men's sports, y'all don't even support y'all own women. But then want the men to do it? Fuck no, we ain't doing that shit. Y'all can miss us with that shit. Nah, I ain't hanging up, Rashida. I'm on this motherfucker. You know what? If you want me to hang up, you come over here and hang my phone up.
Okay, I'm having myself muted up. Okay. All right. So I mean, so what do you ultimately see the outcome of it? Do you think that, I mean, are we at the very beginning of this? Do you think eventually something's going to happen, or do you think that we got a lot more to go before people correct this situation?
Oh nah, this ain't over. Where I'm at, I'm over in Ohio. Slick Whips, come pull up on me. I'm at the truck stop. You come knocking on this door, you're gonna get a .45 at your ass. Just letting you know. So that's your only warning. You pull up, you want to. But yeah, I like it. I do. So y'all get to understand what it's like to try to be replaced by a motherfucker who don't need to be replacing you. Instead of somebody just enjoying what they already have, a lot of you females wasn't fucking happy. Y'all decided to push the issue. No, you want to be like a man so much. Well, now you got men wanting to be like women. How you love that? That's equality for your ass. So for all of y'all wanting equality and been talking about that shit, just take it. Just fucking take it. The same way y'all want us just to accept it, y'all need to accept it. Because we never push the fucking gay agenda. Dudes, for the most part. Women was the one befriending them motherfuckers and doing all this shit. Talking them motherfuckers into that shit. Ain't no men been doing that shit. So y'all created your own demise trying to do some shit that, number one, you ain't had no business doing. But you thought you knew better than what men knew for other men. So there you go. You reap what you sow. No, we don't need y'all, Shelly. That's the number one thing women don't understand. We don't need females. We want y'all. Y'all need us. And for the first time, y'all, I wish y'all motherfuckers would. We don't need a man for nothing. Yes, you do. Because whenever you need some help, who the fuck you call? You ain't calling no fucking woman. If you fucking pipe bust at your house, you call a plumber. Is what? More than likely a man. If you call the police, it's more than likely what? A man. Your shit catch on fire, you call the fire department, it's more than likely what? A man.
Yeah.
Your roof start to leak, you calling somebody with construction, it's more than likely what? A man. Hell yeah, y'all need men. Fuck out of here. What do we need y'all for? To reproduce and to practice reproduction. That's it. All the other shit we can do for our goddamn self. But we choose to have y'all around. We want y'all. We want to have y'all around. Y'all want to say, well, what about companionship? We got homeboys for that. And me and this nigga got more in common than me and you. Only thing is, I'm not trying to fuck him at the end of the night. I'm trying to fuck you. That's the whole point of having you around. I know that a lot of women don't like being relegated to that shit, but it's the fucking facts. It's the facts. Yes, you do need a man, Miss Grace. You absolutely do. The next time you get into any kind of trouble or something that you use that don't work, don't call no man. Call a woman and see how long it take you to get that shit fixed. See, this right here, all of this shit is truth that everybody know, but don't nobody want to accept. But you know it's the damn truth, so stop lying to yourself. I don't care if you lie to me. You do what you do. But don't lie to yourself. Yes, you'll pay a man to do it, but you still need him to do it. Ain't no women running up to you trying to fix your damn pipes. Ain't no women trying to climb up on your roof and fix a hole. They ain't finna patch up no sheetrock on the inside of your house. That's a fact. Good point, Anubis. Who built your shit in the first place? It wasn't no sweaty ass titties out there in some booty shorts, hanging out with a fucking nail gun, climbing up ladders and shit with some steel toe boots.
Now that sounds like how porno stars, but they don't happen in real life. So
it was some of them sweaty balls that only one lie don't like that built your fucking house. Yeah, y'all carry our baby because that's the way that y'all were intended to do. Because trust me, if y'all wasn't giving up no pussy and we couldn't reproduce with y'all would have been died off a long time ago. Y'all serve no other fucking purpose other than that. Nah. Again, it's not a polite thing to say. I agree. But it's the fucking truth. Y'all want to try to be known for all this other good shit. Well, I can do this, I can do that. Yes, you can do that. But a dude could do it better. So, if you want to entertain yourself, go ahead, boo-boo. But your primary function is for reproduction. And y'all think that that's like a curse. Y'all look at it as a curse. And it's not. Because if y'all don't have the kids, we can't make more children to do all this other shit. There won't be no men around to do nothing. So it's very, very important. Without y'all, there is no us. So while y'all running away from that responsibility or looking at it as a curse, that's a slap in the face to everybody else, including yourself. Why do you do it? Because somebody told you that you could do anything a man can do. And that's an accomplishment for you. But that is not your human imperative. It's not. Y'all want to be men so bad. Y'all want all this responsibilities and shit that we have. Some of y'all have to do it, unfortunately, because the man didn't step up. He didn't do his fucking job. Hey, it is what it is. That's the truth. That's a fact of life. You got to do what you got to do to survive at that point. I'm not saying that that's not the point. But I'm saying the ones that do have options and they choose to do it on their own. They don't do nothing but make it hard on themselves and then fuck up the children in the process. These kids is too goddamn soft nowadays because they ain't got nobody in their life that's instilling discipline within them, which is a man's function in a child's life.
And then when they try to,
When
the
that child
women
is
not get mad. You saw the Marshawn Lynch thing. He tried to
exactly.
She wasn't trying. She trying to sue him. He said this and he said, and the first thing he asked, which was funny in that video, was, "Is there a man around?" Because another man would understand what he was trying to do. Yeah, that's crazy.
Shut the fuck up, only one line. Be stupid. Look, ladies, I get it. I get it. It sucks to be you. It sucks to be relegated down to something so simple. But the fact of the matter is, we still need that. And the more y'all run away from that and run away from the duties, the harder relationships is going to be. Men going to always be men. We've been doing the same shit since the beginning of fucking time. Ain't nothing changed with us. Y'all the ones that starting to change. And then wanting us to accept it when that's never what we wanted in the first place. All men might not want relationships, but the ones that do, they want you to fit a certain part. A part that they can't fulfill within themselves. Because look at it like this. When you first bear a child, when that child is an infant, the man can't really do too much. The woman could do everything. She's the one feeding the child. All he could do was hold it, you know what I'm saying, give it a bottle or shit like that. That's pretty much it. But you do all the other stuff. Once that child starts to grow older and then starts to be able to talk and develop, that's when the father comes in. He enables discipline into the child and shit like that. That's our responsibility. Now, the ones that ain't handling their responsibility, hey, condemn the fuck out of them niggas. Straight up. I ain't trying to excuse them bastards at all. But you do share some responsibility in that on the man that you choose.
Yes.
Nobody forced you to lay down and fuck that dude. You chose to do that. A lot of these women need to do a little more homework. Make that nigga wait a little bit longer. Make sure he is who the fuck he say he is.
I can't dispute that.
Don't trust a six pack and a fat wallet. Get you fucked off. Because a lot of other women fell for the same shit. And the worst part about it is these single mothers. They raise these kids to be all soft and try to turn them to the niggas that they don't even want. That's the part that don't make no sense to me. They talk about they want them a strong black man, but you raising a little pussy ass nigga. That don't make no sense.
Yeah, we were talking about that last night. That's what you want to get in on from last night?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes, I did. Oh, and I also want to talk about the HIV dude, the white boy.
Oh, DJ HIV, yeah.
Yes, sir. Look here, ladies. Y'all got to cut this bullshit out. Y'all got to cut this bullshit out. Women got this thing to where they refuse, flat out refuse, and are completely unwilling unless it's to in some sort of extreme to call other women out on their bullshit. Look here. If you lay down with somebody and let him go in you raw, you understand that there could be possible dire consequences with that. And you can't sit up here, Miss Ashley in particular, and call any one of them women a victim. They are not victims, Miss Ashley. They're dumb bitches. That's what the fuck they are. Yes, I said it, and I said it like that intentionally. Not now one of you women in here is going to lay down with some strange DJ that you met in the club and let him have sex with you raw. None of you. Because y'all not fucking dumb. So why would you let these bitches slide and make it? Again, I don't let no nigga do some dumb shit, slide and make it. So why y'all feel the need to look at them as victims? Women got to stop that shit. There needs to be some responsibility, man. I'm not saying what the dude did was right. That was some whole shit he did. But they let him do it. They made the environment conducive to him to be able to fuck them over and fuck their whole life up. I don't feel sorry for none of them. Not a single one. They got to take responsibility for their actions. That's what happened. In this case, you can't abort no sexually transmitted disease like you can a baby. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Them B.O.B. blue tops. So, we were talking about that stuff last night, man. I want to go back to that when you were talking about the women and the kids. We briefly brought up, a lot of these moms and they posing and they doing these pictures and all this stuff with their kids. What kind of long-term effects do you feel like that has on, especially because it's really single moms with young men? Because you see it time and time, and I made a mention about a post, somebody talking about, God finally sent me my man, it was my son, and got this, but then the nigga was in a little pink do-rag to top it all off, and the nigga wasn't but about 2 or 3 years old. But then I found out, I want to tell God, I prayed for a man's love, and he sent it to me, and it was my son. And you got your son, dressing up like the nigga I guess he came from or whatever else. Like, what would you say is the long-term effects on that type of situation for the young man?
But when he grows up, he's going to be looking for the same thing his mama looking for? A man?
That's tough. That's tough.
And since most of the people in prison are product of single parent homes, he might even get introduced or walked up on by the booty warrior. I'm just saying.
I like you and I want you.
I'm saying this is just facts. Now, and back to the female sports shit. The only one that's still entertaining is female tennis.
Word.
Those girls can play.
Word.
Yes.
Do you ever watch the LFL?
Say what?
You don't ever watch the LFL?
I've never seen it. I've never been able to catch it. I'd like to be able to see some highlights, but I would watch it.
I think you got to catch it mainly.
I would watch it.
I catch it on YouTube, and aside from the fact, yes, it's ass cheeks and shit like that going on. They actually play some pretty solid football.
I know.
So
I know. I will watch it because I'm unfamiliar with the rules and all that. So I will watch it just to check it out to see if I like it. But and here's the thing, and this is. Serena Williams, she hit one point and then went right back to the feminism shit. Because she clearly said, y'all talking about the women could do everything a man could do. A woman, ain't no woman on this planet beat any one of the professional men in tennis. It's not fucking happening. She even said it. And plus, women only play 3 sets. Men play, up to 5. The women can't even outlast the men in tennis. They be wore the fuck out. And this is coming from one of the best tennis players in the world. From the female side. So, I just don't get it. I don't understand what people don't understand. That's why I'm lost. All the information is out there, but you let your heart cloud your fucking judgment. Your brain shuts off and your heart opens up. You ain't gonna learn nothing that way. And all you want to do is be heard, but you saying shit that don't make sense. Or you're saying shit that amounts to absolutely nothing. It needs to stop. We don't need more women in politics. We need better politicians.
Yeah.
Whether it's a man or a woman. I don't give a fuck. We don't need more women in STEM shit. We need better motherfuckers at the shit. Because we falling behind. I don't give a shit where they from. what they were born. I don't care. We need more female doctors. No, we need better doctors. We need better insurance. We need better medicine. Better education by far. And who primarily are the teachers? Women. But it's not y'all fault. Because the government and the state set the curriculum. Which is mostly what? Men. So we both share blame in that shit. Absolutely. And then somebody was talking about this, and this made a lot of sense to me. The teachers are mad because they're not getting paid enough. And ever since I was young, I always thought that, teachers were underpaid. I didn't really think of it as, women being underpaid or whatever. But I always considered how important the teacher's job was. But then I had to really look at some really important facts. They don't even work the whole year. And some of these teachers is making $72,000. I don't even make that fucking much. So what the fuck is you doing with your money? How? That's crazy to me. So what y'all want to be able to do is take care of you and your family off a job that you only working 2/3 of the year, and you get a whole third of the year off. When I got to scrounge up for a fucking vacation day. Why can't you get you a second job to fill in the fucking gap? A lot of the male teachers do. That's not their only job that they have. They get out there and work with their hands. Women ain't interested in that. And those are the jobs that pay the most money. Then they come on here bitching about the gender pay gap. It's been well documented. That shit has been debunked I don't know how many times, but they still coming up with this bullshit. We work more hours. We make about the same. We make a little bit more, but it's because we work more hours. It's really fucking simple.
Men are more likely to work, overtime and, commit to things because they don't have those, extra familial responsibilities.
And we don't need no extended time off to have a child. We there. Now that is something that y'all don't have no control of. Look, that's just what it is. That's nature. You can't control that. But you can't expect the company to keep paying you for no production. That don't work. That don't even make no sense. So I don't know. I don't understand what they feel that they're not getting. They already got all the opportunities. Now I'm not saying that you shouldn't have the same opportunities as men. Oh, absolutely not. You most certainly should. But don't expect the outcome to be the same when you don't put in the same amount of work, or you don't do the same job, or you don't go get a degree in certain fields that's going to pay you more money. You get a degree that'll put you in the field where you're happier. Then when you don't get the money you want, now you mad. But you knew that before you went your ass to school. You knew what kind of salary you were going to be making. Don't you think that's something that you would want to figure out when you choosing a major? One would think that that's logical sense. But obviously not. A lot of people have missed that boat. They think they can go get a major in psychology and they're going to come out making 6 figures. No, ma'am. I always got to be the one to break this shit to people. This is the reality, man.
I know you've been waiting for a while, so I'm just trying to let you get it
unfiltered. This is the stone cold unfiltered reality of shit. This is what it is. Whether you like it, whether it hurts your feelings or not, the truth don't give a fuck about your feelings. It does not. It does not care. You still got to deal with it. You can only run from the truth for so long. Eventually, it's going to catch up with you. But ladies, this is what you get. This is what happens when you try to not stay in your place. I know that's not a popular phrase, but it's pretty fucking accurate. You had a perfectly good lane, but that wasn't enough. You decided to strive for more, and you want to bring some other people along with you. Well, guess what? They're starting to take over your shit.
Mm. That's funny because you sent me that thing the other day and I read it to my old lady and she vehemently agreed.
What thing?
That thing
I sent a
about-
lot of shit. I don't remember.
The one about feminism definitely wasn't you, Chimba. You know that wouldn't have been the.
Oh no! Yeah, that would have been a horrible look, Honcho. yeah, that would have been bad.
Yeah, I've been making mistakes. But no.
Yeah.
But the feminism thing, she, like I said, she agreed. She felt like that was an accurate statement. Okay. All right.
So ladies, this is y'all want to do something? Stop it. Stand up and stop it. Go march in the streets for that. Instead of marching in the street with a pussy hat on.
Mm. Oh man, did you see the chick
that don't help not one of y'all.
who in I think in Venezuela or something like that? Venezuela burning down, and this motherfucker in the street twerking, talking about that's a protest. No, that's you getting some attention with a fiery fucking background. Like this is the movement these days. This motherfucker that they're protesting by twerking in the middle of the street while shit getting burned down behind them. Like, and people supporting this shit. Like you shaking your ass is a protest. This is like twerking empowerment. Like I understand, female empowerment, body empowerment, all that other good shit, but that doesn't make any sense. That shit is crazy to me.
Okay. Since you understand it, can you explain it to me? Can you explain female and body empowerment to me?
No, I mean I understand.
I don't understand that either.
Because the thing is, and I can get it because where you feel like, well, everything is sexualized, and it is. We know titties are sexualized, because men can run around with their shirts off and they want to feel that equality, and I can understand them wanting to feel that equality, but at the same time, we know what it is. You know what I'm saying? We know that if them shirts come off and you get to jogging in the park and them titties jiggling around, that's not about empowerment. You might be empowering something, but it ain't what you think it is. But I understand, wanting to feel like I can go around and not be sexualized for everything I do. Some women don't want to be sexualized. Men, we're fucking pervert. And I tell y'all 1,000 times, I don't care. I'm going now, and it's funny because Roger just sent something, and I'm finna share it here in just a second because it's a very interesting question that he put up with that. But I like I say, it's just that I can understand them wanting to be able to feel the same way, but it will never be that because titties are sexual. So I understand
and
that.
Why is that? Why will it never be the same, Honcho?
It ain't. It just ain't. Some shit just ain't gonna be the same. I mean, shit.
Because men and women are different.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. We are not equal. We will never ever be equal. And women's empowerment, empowering them to do what exactly? Are they not already doing whatever the fuck it is they want to do?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, yeah.
My fucking point exactly. So what you need empowering for?
Yeah, I mean, shit. But it's all a perception thing, honestly. Because in the same way that I was saying earlier, because there's a perception that men have this extra power, ability, and freedom that women do not. The same way I talk about the trans people having a perception of women when they emulate them, that's not real because that's not what's going on. It's that grass is green on the other side thing. That everybody thinks that, well, they get to do this, they get to do this, they get to do this. Well, when a nigga take his shirt off, ain't no special attention, ain't no nothing unless you just, super rip. You what's the nigga that everybody's going crazy for? Aquaman or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Then you gotta look like a half-ass Fabio or some shit like that. But for the most part, unless you some type of athlete or some shit like that, you not getting no special privilege. You could be a so broad and pull some titties out. Niggas gonna stop and pay attention. Niggas gonna wreck his car. You could be walking down the street. And nigga gonna be looking twice, being ran in the back, somebody rear-ended somebody, just because. I mean, that's the power of the titty. So women got to understand that they have like a certain. It's about wielding that power. Some women know how to wield that power properly to their advantage. But the thing is, y'all have a level of power that men will never have. So like, unless you just really wanting to give that up for this perception of what they think is something different. I mean, come on, man. It's not what you think it is. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's like, I think, again, like I said, it's that grass is greener thing going on.
I want to know why Shannon retracted that message that she put out. I think she knew that I was finna pounce on her motherfucking neck.
See, hold on. Let me check my message on retractor. Let me see. Let me see what she said over here. What she got about 10 messages. Let me see what it says right above female pimp. Let me see.
Oh, that's true, female. You can bust a cap in a nigga ass. Ain't no doubt about that.
What you talking about?
You don't have to be that strong to pull a trigger. If that's a fact.
Shelly talking about some 1970s.
Nah, the line cut automatically, Wink. It cuts automatically. It's got a time set on it. Yes, I am mean, Miss Grace, but I'm just honest. Some people just don't seem to understand if you try to say it in a roundabout way. So when you just come blunt like that, it is what it is. They just gonna have to feel about it how the fuck they feel about it. Because to be honest, I don't give a fuck because it's the truth.
I agree. But here's the deal. I mean, to cut it short, Professor Trill. I'm gonna take it's two, three more people want to get something in, so I'm gonna grant them that privilege before we wind it down, and I want to post this thing, and I want you to be able to see it. That Broderick has shared with me. This is a very good premise, and we gonna. I know y'all ladies sit here and say we bash y'all all the time, but I want to talk to y'all about power, and I think this picture plays kind of into that, almost what I was just talking about. So it's kind of funny. But I definitely want to know your take on this when I post this up. So, anything else you want to say before we wrap
That's a false statement. Only one law. Them ain't no men.
Not only one law.
So you need to fix that.
And y'all just send me what you got messages on this. What you got? Let me see what you got going on here.
Facts, female pimp. Up to a certain point. Because if y'all keep this bullshit going that y'all got now, niggas is gonna find an alternative to pussy, and then y'all gonna be out to dry by y'all goddamn self. Man, y'all gonna be licking on each other like y'all starting to do more and more now. So y'all need to get y'all shit together.
Y'all already lost Malik Yoba. So I mean, you know.
Oh, there is an alternative, female pimp. That damn show is.
So, look, a lot of y'all, look, I hate to get into it. Some of y'all...
No, it's not a baseball bat, Miss Bell. It's a battering ram. That's how I do.
So, it's like what I'm saying is that you got y'all... But here,
don't get me off the line, Rashida. I'm still here.
But that's funny because, you know...
You had the same opportunity the other dude had. Come get me off the line. Come on with it. I was being nice to you. I said hey to you and everything earlier. Now you want to be disrespectful because I call out some of this bitch behavior that's going on with some of y'all women out there. And instead of condemning the women who y'all know doing some fuck shit, y'all want to get mad at me. Your ire is directed in the wrong place, man. You need to check yourself.
He was gross anyway. Yeah, I got 3 of y'all I'm gonna call back shortly after this. But yeah, I mean, when you talk about alternative, look, motherfuckers into some new shit. Look, they trying to recreate the not only are they trying to recreate the vagina, they trying to recreate the whole womb. Look, y'all better figure it out. They trying to, what it was, like a pig womb or something. They were successful with some crazy shit they was doing. So I mean, yeah, look, they gonna find a way. Then the robots. But here's the crazy thing about the robots. Let me say this real quick. This is how you know the society's gotten too crazy. These motherfuckers talking about the robots need to have a consent feature added to them. So basically the robot can reject your motherfucking ass too. You done bought the robot. Could you imagine buying one of them damn robots, paying all that motherfucking money for them? Them motherfuckers is expensive. Motherfuckers customizing and making it look like the motherfucker you want it to look like. And then you go to fuck with the robot and that motherfucker tell you no.
Yeah, what kind of fuck shit is that? That ain't nothing but only a woman would put that shit in there. You gotta get consent from a mother some shit you done purchased. Man, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I wish my motherfucking car would. I try to crank it up. Nah, man, I just ain't feeling it this morning. Nigga, if you don't get my ass to the motherfucking HEB, man, nah, man, that's fucking crazy. That's some dumb shit.
Oh, man, look.
There ain't no way no man came up with that bullshit. That's some feminine bullshit.
Motherfuckers getting mad at the robots getting dick down. They say, no, we gotta shut all this down. Look, they didn't throw the Me Too button on the robots. That's the kind of shit that's going on right here. Look, there's too much crazy shit going on. Heidi, you came way too late to bring that comment up, but I'll talk about that. I'll try to get that in here. But anything else you got there, Professor Tripp?
No, that's it.
Okay. All right, well, that's a bit. Well, I appreciate the call, and I want to know your thoughts on this. Nobody raping the robots. And I want to get your thoughts on this picture I'm about to post up real quick.
Oh, God.
Shout out to Broderick already.
All right.
All right, back. And I know it's a couple of y'all that want me to give y'all some call back, so Miss Grace, Sean, and Wink, I'm gonna call y'all back, and those will be the last calls for the evening. But I want to put this up. Shout out to Broderick, because he sent this, and he's just talking about thirst. And I want y'all women to understand that it don't even have to be like, it's some of the worst women out there winning. And this is the power of being a woman, so I don't understand why women want to be men. Even the roughest, I've seen some rough women out there winning, right? This right here, okay? And let me put Broderick's text with it to, I guess, give some context, right? And what he says is, I have some questions. Question 1, are guys this thirsty? Please examine Exhibit A, and I'm gonna show you that in just a second. Is this the natural look? No, this is definitely not the natural look. I can answer that one. Number 3, just why? Question 4, am I wrong? Question 5, who is the enabler snapping this photo? Some friend you are. Now, I'm going to show y'all what Exhibit A is, all right? I'm going to show y'all what Exhibit A is. This motherfucker has several likes. 637 it appears to be. Now, I don't know. But, like I say, somebody is rocking with it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody is getting down with it. So let me see. Where we at? All right, let's make a couple of these calls real quick. Let me get. I know. Let's see here. You know, look. You know, I ain't afraid I call you back, Jack. What is bigger, Shelly? Pixar, it didn't happen. Let's see. You know, everybody can be who they want to be on the internet. You know, people be making stuff up. Well, this is a picture that Broderick posted, but this shit here is getting likes. This is what I'm saying. This is what's gonna fool around and end up replacing. I said it wasn't no substitute. Hello. Is this Miss Sean?
Hey, what's happening, Ben?
How are you, Miss Sean? It has been too long. What have you been up to?
Man, it's been too long, and, you know, sometimes I got to hunker down. It's all kinds of shit going on, you know, with Cupcakes and the kids and Malia and Jolton Bond, Jason Pope, the white dude giving black women AIDS. And sometimes you just got to take a break from all that shit. But I'm going to stay on topic. Okay. The topic is the future of sports, because I don't want to derail because we could talk about that all day. And, you know, what I got to say is that old time, I don't know if you had this saying in your life, but we always used to say, ain't no future and no fronting.
Yeah.
Right? Ain't no future and no fronting. So all this stuff going on, like with the sport and how now they're having to compete with the transgender men, I'm like laughing my ass off, because this is what the feminism and the feminist people want. Now that you got what you want, now you want to bitch and complain. You fought for equality, right? So now you got equality. So now when they whooping your ass and everything else, so now it's a problem. So I'm laughing at it. It's like, okay, yeah, seriously. It's like, okay, that's what you want. You want equality? There's your fucking equality. That's what it gets you. This is the results of it. You're getting your ass whooped in cycling, track, and what? They cracked the skull of a female boxer. A transgender cracked the skull of a female boxer. So does it take you getting your skull cracked to understand that this feminism stuff is going too fucking far? Okay? There's no changing. I don't give a fuck if you want like dick, pussy, or whatever. You can never change that you're a man, and you can never change that you're a woman. And I'm not even going to be putting my fucking energy on it. I'm just going to laugh at it. Because I don't have time. Seriously, I don't have time to figure out who the fuck likes dick and pussy and what's this flag and what's that flag. I got to go I got to go all the way down the fucking alphabet. It's too fucking confusing for me. We already know man, woman, 1, 2. My mind, call me simple-minded. Call me a simple-minded bitch. I'm 1, 2. Okay? In terms of what I'm supposed to do on this earth. But you got people's mind, and you're trying to get our children's mind, and you're trying to twist them into some matrix, and they got to go all the way down the alphabet. They got to figure out what's the difference between. Everybody know what their private is. You know what your private is. I know what my private is, and Sean, Honcho know what his private is. Why are you trying to fucking confuse that shit? So I mean, come on now. I mean, it's like you pissing on me and telling me it's not raining. We know it's biological. Oh, I know who I am. I know what the God birthed me as. Why are you trying to trick me like I'm something that I'm not, or I got to go all the way down the alphabet like I'm so many different things down the alphabet when I can just look down in my pants and understand who I am? It's just that fucking simple. And it's just too complicated. So now I think it's just funny, and I love it. Because you know what's going to happen? Sometimes it takes time for shit to play out. Sometimes you got to let shit play out. So I think it's lovely. It's wonderful. I'm laughing at them. Let them keep beating them in all sports. And so at the end of the day, you so strong, right? You so strong, feminism, whatever. Where you at now? That's why they quiet. Think about it. Because they don't got no answer for this shit because they didn't fucking expect it. So now you got people, I just wake up in the morning and Sean, my name is fucking Malik. You know, fucking, I'm a freedom fighter, and I'm going to fucking go, and I'm going to be a man, and I'm going to do all of this shit that a man does. I can wake up the next day, and then I'm back to Sean. Where does it fucking end? So now that's why they quiet, because they never expected it. So now what you gonna do? Malik gonna wake up, and Malika gonna wake up, and their name is gonna be Rashida. And Rashida gonna want to run and compete in games, volleyball, dodgeball, baseball, softball, track and field. Why are you so fucking quiet now? That's the equality that you fought for. So I think let it play out, because see what's going to happen is catching up. It's called chickens coming home to roost. So now all this bullshit that you've been pushing is catching up with you now. What you gonna do with it? I know with Sean, I'm laughing at that shit. I'm laughing at y'all. Y'all figure it out. That's the shit that you put in there. Now you deal with it. You deal with it. You see what I'm saying? So let that shit, sometimes you gotta let people bump their head. But meantime, in between time, we stuck out here like all up in their motherfucking matrix. But we have to understand our position, and we got to stay firm and focused because it's all around. It's nothing but power and strength. That universe, like that little background that you got. See, I love that. It's the power of the star. And it kind of pisses me off a little bit, because I'm all up into that. That background you have is a very powerful background. That's the universe. There's more billions and billions of stars in the universe. We're just one star in all the universe. What makes you think that we're the only people that's out here?
Yeah. That's something to think about.
And exactly. And it kind of pisses me off because I would rather be having a conversation about how we're going to bring life to the other stars and moons in the universe to advance our people in terms of humanity and mankind, versus having all these conversations on who like dick and pussy. Think about that shit. This is where our brain level is. Yeah. I mean, my brain is going to a whole different frequency and level. So that's why I laugh at them. I'm not giving them none of my brain energy. My energy is too powerful, and so is everybody else's. Fuck them. Let them deal with it. I don't give a fuck. Let them keep fucking winning the goddamn games. That's your bullshit. You fixed it. You fucking fixed it. You started it. You broke it. You fixed it. I'm not giving no damn energy. I don't give a fuck about nobody's pussy or nobody's dick. I got bigger things to think about. And that's where we all need to be. Let that shit play out. Let the chips fall where they may. We just got to stay grounded in who we are, and what your mother told you who you are, and your father told you who you are, and look in your motherfucking pants, and God is going to tell you who you are once you open your pants and your drawer. It's very simple. It's 1, 2. It's not a fucking alphabet, okay? And that's all I got to say. Love you, Honcho.
All right, Miss Sunshine. I'm glad to hear from you. It's been so long. I'm glad that you're doing well. I'm glad all is well, and you have come back to the den because we have missed you.
Okay, miss y'all too.
All right, you have a good
All
evening.
right, I'm going to get off. Okay, bye-bye.
All right, bye. All right. So obviously, the majority of the votes went to yes, that people think it's a man. The only no votes were Heidi, the chicken hater, and the stenographer 335. All right. Where are we at? Let me see if I got the dilly dallies. All right, let me see if I can get this one quick. And this is the right one. Okay, and then I'll get.
So he is like the bad child.
Why do you say he's the bad child?
He's like the bad child. That's what in my heart. That's what he is. He's the bad child. But I love him. He's absolutely right about teachers pay.
Yeah.
Because I rode this wave, and it always cracked me up when people said that teachers didn't get paid good money. And when students would ask me, I'd stop the class and I explained it to them. It was good money to me. I could work 3 jobs in the summertime. And I went out making almost $100,000 a year. And I was part of what was the old girls club, because they had the old boys club. And when I first started teaching and I filled out the application for summer school, some of the other teachers said, I don't know why you're bothering filling out the application, because they have this certain little group, that they hire, so you're not going to get it. And I did it, and I got hired. and I was one that got hired over and over again until now it's gotten to the point I don't have to fill out an application because you know, Honcho, as soon as November comes to February, that they call me to go into the homes that the teachers from the suburbs, they came into our city to work, they're afraid to go into the homes that I go into. I can do summer school. You know what I mean? And I do it every year. I mean, how much time do I need? Do I need a whole 2-3 months off in a year? You mean I work, 4 weeks? 4 hours a day, 4 days a week for 4 weeks, and that's my little gravy money. Not I need the money, but I just make it because it's there to make, you know what I mean? And I do miss being in the classroom. So he is absolutely right. You know what I mean? I was lucky enough, fortunate enough, because I worked at it, to get out at the age of 60 because I wanted that early retirement. Where some educators said they didn't want to pay into it, I've been paying into Retirement Plan Plus since I was my third year of teaching. You know what I mean? And I would say, look, take that extra $20 a week. You mean, and put it aside. You mean you're not even going to see it? The teachers that didn't want to do it, they didn't, and I got to jump out at the age 60. You know what I mean? And get an extra 12% on top of what I used to make, and another 2% every year after that. I also, when I was working on my degrees, you know what I mean? I was 1 year a paraprofessional and 3 years a substitute teacher. You mean they gave me 5 years to pay that off. I bought those 4 years back. So there's so many ways and so many things, and teachers do make money. How often do you see a raggedy teacher that's out laying out panhandling or anything like that? You rarely ever see it. You know what I mean? Because teachers do. If I worked, or if we worked more hours a day, now it's more, but when I started out, it was only 6 hours a day. And we didn't have all the things that teachers have to do now, because teachers do have a lot to do. You know what I mean? Because whatever's going on out in society and out in the communities, the kids do not shed that at the school gate. They bring that stuff right in. Yeah, and our public schools, I told you what it's like. They're a mess. Okay, so I'm going to say something else about if I have 25 kids in the classroom, and if I ask how many kids have their father at home or contact with their fathers, 20 hands go up. You know, so I understand what Trill, you know what I mean? We and this, that, and another, and blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? When, you know, women fall in love. You know what I mean? And you don't think they didn't let us know that they were going to be jerks. You can have a relationship with them for 2 years. You mean a lot of guys don't want to pay that child support and don't want to be in their kids' lives. And I do understand the women that use the kids as a pawn, you know what I mean, and they don't want their kid to see the father because they're mad at the father. But more often than not, it's the other way around. You mean, and that's the reality of it. You know what I mean? And I'm sure you guys and real men will admit that. You know, most men do cheat. You know what I mean? And a lot of the fathers are not involved. You know what I mean? I sit and count that do take care of their children are involved in their kids' lives. You mean more like 75% of the black households. I mean, these kids don't have a father in their life or living in the house. It's a mess. You know what I mean? So more than it being a woman's problem, it's also very much a man problem. You mean they need to get it together, and women need to leave them alone. My kids' fathers, you know, the first one, you know, when I was 14 and I had my son, like I said, 26 days after I turned 15. My daughter I had 8 years later. My kids are 8 years apart. Both of my kids, because I don't like bums. I've always been, the way I am now, I've been this way since I was a little girl. You know what I mean? I was ahead of my, I was like a little old lady. I told you before that I'm going in reverse. But both of my kids' fathers come from middle-class black households where they had good fathers that took care of them. So you would think that they would be, you mean, good fathers, and that wasn't the case. You mean? Not that they were terribly bad guys, but they tried to get away as long as they could without paying any child support. You mean, thank goodness that I was one of the women that worked for ACES, Association for the Children for the Enforcement of Support, grabbing deadbeat, well, mostly deadbeat guys, but deadbeat parents. You mean, it was headed by a woman by the name of Geraldine Jensen, you know what I mean? And I went to the State House in Boston, you know, and had to get up there and testify. And there was an article about these men. You mean, my son's father was living overlooking Lake Michigan, And my daughter's father, you mean, works in a prison in California. You mean, he has a boat, he has a trailer. You mean, he lives a really good life. But I don't care how much money they make. A lot of them don't want to pay the child support. Okay, and then one other thing. I was going to mention, somebody mentioned about the colorism thing because it came the other day, and I'm going to say this really fast because I don't like to hog up the line. The colorism thing. I just hate for my beautiful black sisters or darker-skinned sisters to sit there and feel that they are not loved. You mean? Because, first of all, as a light-skinned woman, you mean a light-skinned black woman, most of us only like dark-skinned brothers. It's rare to find a light-skinned woman that likes a light-skinned man. You know what I mean? And then you have the dark-skinned brothers. They'll go for light-skinned women or they'll go for dark brothers. The problem comes in is between the women. You mean I rarely ever hear a light-skinned sister talking about one of our dark-skinned sisters, calling them monkeys and calling them names or hating them and things like that there. But, you mean my friends and things like that are darker skinned, they absolutely cannot stand the light-skinned girls. So that's where the problem to me comes in at. Remember I told you about the bullying? You mean because they tend to think that if you're light or white, that you can't fight. You mean they start with that bullying and they start with the attitudes and things like that. If you step in and put a group of light-skinned girls and a group of dark-skinned girls in a room, you mean you can almost guess which ones are going to be the loudest or going to be more aggressive. You mean, or if you act too soft, anything like that, they got a problem with it. They don't like it. I mean, that's what I don't like. You know what I mean? So we black women, you mean, need to get that together because our black men, especially that we see like, what's that guy from Morocco, that ugly thing with the light-skinned guy? He was a rapper. He refers to us as monkeys. They want to refer to us as roaches. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? All kinds of.
Was it French Montana? Is he the one from Morocco?
That ugly monkey, French Montana, with his sleepy damn eyes. You mean from Morocco? And as soon as he gets called out, then it's our own brothers in show business that say, oh, but he's from Africa. He's from Africa. Yeah, he's from Morocco. He's one of the Arabs. And I said they enslaved our people, that they made slavery that went on here in the United States look like child's play. Okay? That's how mean those suckers are. When my friends went over to Dubai because they wanted us American teachers over there to go to Abu Dhabi, you mean I had no desire to go over there. My friends went over there and they let me know. Them Arabs over there, the dark-skinned brothers, they treat them like slaves still. You know what I mean? Everywhere I travel, I told you I've been to over 20 different countries. You mean? And that's just the way it is. So I tell people this thing that they call racism here is on all over the world. It is what it is. Deal with it. If you don't like me, I mean, just move on. I'm going to do what I got to do because you're not going to stop me. And people need, instead of just worrying about and trying to fight it, just get yours and be successful in life and do the best that you can and be kind. Because I told you, I don't like unkind people. And my people are good people no matter what color. But these are the things. So Trill was absolutely right with so much that he said. And, gee, I have to admit that because I like to mess with him sometimes. But he's right. I mean, teachers do make good money. We can do other jobs. You know what I mean? We need to do something better in our communities between the men and the women. You mean, and these fathers. You know, we got to do better. That's all I can say. But you know what? To be honest with you, Honcho, I don't think that we're going to do better because I keep seeing our people, and I'm sure you see it too, that are in denial and don't want to admit it.
I agree.
You know, they will. They don't. And so now, and that's why I don't like to say too much about it because it's like talking to a wall. They don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? They can contribute to the demise of our people, but they will continue doing the same old thing. You mean in the schools, the public schools can be a mess. And then the charter schools get this money, they open up, and they allow everybody in the hood to apply for the charter school. Okay? And then they use a screening process, a vetting process. They look at which one of the kids in our hood that have a parent that's doing some decent parenting. They look at the kids' attendance. They test the kids and check their test scores. They look at the kids' behavior, and then they pluck just those kids at first. And then the charter school does well. They perform well. It's in the newspaper. It's on the radio. Everybody's talking about it. Then afterwards, everybody wants their kids at the charter schools. And then they open up a lottery. and then anybody can go, even the riffraff, and then the charter schools are no longer doing well. The same broads and men that don't take care of their children, they take that same bullshit and have the nerve to want their kids in a better school, but if you're going to take those same behaviors and those same attitudes and go to another building or another neighborhood, it's not going to work, because that same bullshit that you all did there to mess it up, you're just taking it someplace else. You know what I mean? Just like, you know what I mean, people in the hood, they want the better communities and neighborhoods to live in that are nice and clean with the better houses and things. Well, you know, if you're going to go over there, take care of your shit. Yeah. Nobody's coming in, like I said before, coming in and throwing garbage all in our neighborhoods. You know, nobody's making those messes. That's up to us. Like Marva Collins, the inner city Chicago teacher, you know what I mean? I met her years back. She passed away, by the way. You know, she said, what happened to our people? We were such a clean people. You know, when she started the Westside Preparatory Prep School. You know, but that's all that I had to say. But, nope, Trill, you have a good old-fashioned way of thinking, and I like that, and I can appreciate that. And any young girl that gets his little mean ass, you know what I mean, just tame him up a little bit, and Trill can be okay. But he reminds me so much of my Ron, but Ron didn't have all of that, because if Ron talked as much as Trill did, I would have shut that shit down. Thinking life is not up for debate. Okay, so have a good night.
All right, Ms. Grace, I appreciate you taking the call.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, good evening. So, you know, they say sometimes, you know, people take on other spirits, and we're going to get this one last call in. Let me make sure I got the appropriate number. That's funny. All right, bet. And for the record, black men don't cheat. Never have, never will. What's the motherfucking deal?
What's going down, Honcho?
Wait, what's on your mind, man? You said you had something that that trio got you fired up, man.
And bro, Trill was speaking that shit, man. Like that's my nigga. Like, Trill just be speaking a lot of shit, man. And just we all know, in our heart of hearts, we all know he ain't lying. But then, you know, because we're sensitive and that, you know, most people don't have these conversations. And a lot of women don't want to hear that shit. Man, women don't want to have that shit. That's why I'm a very lucky man, bro. And I'm a lucky man because the way that Trill talk, I talk to my wife. Exactly like that. And she gets it. At one point in time, you know, she was a lot more, she was a real immature. She couldn't accept hearing a lot of that shit. But my woman has always been one of these women who's like, she's not like, she loves her lane of being a woman and that I'm the man. Every woman wants to feel like they not your mama. Like that's what most women want. Most women don't want to feel like they your motherfucking mama having to tell you how to do this, telling you how to do that. But at the end of the day, a lot of women don't know how to pick their leaders. Logic and a lot of the shit that they need from men, you know, the way that they choose their men because they think that they value certain shit in their lives. It's always back for some women. They always want to have the fun. They always want the thug nigga, you know, all of that little bullshit early on. Not all women. Some women actually like, you know, a straight-laced dude, a dude who can handle his business, because just because you ain't out in the streets, nigga, don't mean you can't handle yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a huge misconception that street niggas is the only ones that know how to handle business. I don't know where they get that lie from. I don't know where they act like they the only niggas who know how to slang dick, because that's a misconception too. I mean, I'm not out in the streets. I know what I am, but at the end of the day, I know what life I was willing to accept. I knew I wanted to be a family man. I knew I don't want to put my wife and my family on my own freedom at risk behind some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So it's a sacrifice for me to go out here to be on the road like how I am right now. I'm supposed to be asleep right now. Took a mean nap, woke up, seen you was doing what you was doing, and then I had to call in. You know what I'm saying? And boy Trill was speaking a whole bunch of shit. So to touch on a couple of things that he was talking about, okay, I guess we can go with the topic that your video is. This whole sports shit. Like, you can see the numbers and you can see the level of entertainment value. And to be honest, when it comes to female sports, and it's not, I won't even say female sports because there's no such thing as a female sport. There's no such thing as a man sport. But sports is sports. It doesn't say man sport or woman sport. So anybody can play sports, but the level to which you play the sport is totally different. It will never be a female LeBron James or Michael Jordan of any sport. The closest thing you have to is Serena Williams and Serena and Venus Williams, and look at how they were able to dominate in their sport. But if they had to play Nadal and Federer week in, week out, shit might be different. Would they be able to get a hold of them and win some games here and there? I'm sure they would be. But they wouldn't be able to sustain that for a long period of time. You don't see no females out here dunking, and when they went, really mashing on boys, really crossing dudes over, I mean, yeah, they got a lot of fundamentals. Women, when they in some shit, they really want to be good at it, but a lot of women do shit and try to base it off of how they think a man would do it. Do it the way that you want to do it. You don't have to compete with us, because a lot of times, a lot of shit that y'all got going on, we don't look at you as competition. Why would we? Like, I don't have to compete with no woman. For what? We compete amongst other men because at the end of the day, I know that's my equal. I can't. A woman is not my equal. My woman knows she ain't my equal. My woman will come on here and tell you this. She don't want to be my equal. The king and the queen are totally separate. The queen can't upgrade the king. I can pick any woman that I want and upgrade her and put her on a totally different status, and with the level of information that I impute in her, even if I was to leave her, she would be able to carry herself in such a manner that garners respect. That's what leadership is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I hear a few women out here saying, like, men do this and men do that. Well, at the end of the day, men show you who the fuck they are up front. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a little interview process when we meet you. And yeah, we're going to do whatever we do. We're going to bullshit around. But at the end of the day, we know what we want. Y'all know what we want. And y'all know what y'all want in the process. A woman know right out of the gate if she going to use this nigga for money. A woman know right out of the gate if this nigga conversation suck, but she just want to see what the dick like. You know what I'm saying? Or she just may not be interested at all and just want to move around. He probably ain't clever enough. So it's many facets to this life when it comes to, being in relationships. And I don't even know what the sense of and it's really women who want to be so equal to men, but why is that?
Because again, it's that perception that it looks like something that it really isn't. They feel like you're missing out on something, like there's some extra added benefit that you get from being a man. Same thing with like whole ass niggas when it's a nigga, say a nigga who holding down whatever, he's the man around town or whatever you want to call it. And niggas, because they see he doing this and they doing that and they hate on him, but not realizing the responsibility that comes with being the man, the people you feed, the people you look out for, the things that you do that, may go, undocumented, that the people don't really see because they don't know the real responsibilities that you possess, but people just see you out there flashy or things look good, but they don't really see the work that goes on behind the scenes. I think it's like a situation similar to that it's a perception thing.
That's really, and it's so funny you say that, because as men, when you see, because we ain't talking about these little simp ass boy. You know these little dudes, these niggas that don't take care of their kids. I don't even acknowledge niggas like that. You can't even be in my presence and not take care of your kids. Something as simple as creating life in this world, and you don't take care of it. You automatically discount it as a waste of DNA. And the same goes for these bullshit ass women out here who do fuck shit to their kids. My wife got a cousin. Like, she claims to be gay, but like she goes out of her way, you know, to like I really think my wife and her really think that she got a crush on my wife. You know what I'm saying? And she does and says little shit and leaves like little innuendos out there. And it's just like, she really just wants a man to lead her. She hates the fact that she has to be a lesbian by default, you know, and she wants somebody strong. She knows she can't. She knows she's not getting that. And I'm not saying a woman's not strong, but you're strong in a different way. Like why can't men and women just acknowledge their strengths, work on that, and you work on weaknesses? I know my weakness in my relationship is romance. The only thing I can do is work on that. As far as being a provider, a protector, and everything that a man is supposed to be innately, I didn't need no woman's guidance to know how to do that. Nor should I have gotten any. How to be a gentleman, okay, of course. But as far as what it takes to be a man, y'all don't want to know what it takes to be in my shoes. No man cares what it's like to be no woman. You ain't never heard no nigga sitting idly by and just sitting around and be like, damn, nigga, women just got it so hard, nigga. I wonder what it was like for me to be a woman. Niggas don't know nigga think like that.
No.
He don't want to think like that. If men had to think like women all day, every day, and like women can't even do shit like just have free time without it being a problem. Especially if you're in a relationship. You know what happens when my wife got too much time? She go looking around for shit. She want to talk all goddamn day. I don't want to talk, but she wants to talk. So I have to pretend like I'm interested in what the fuck she talking about. And if I say I don't feel like talking, or even if I give the impression as in me being short with the answer that I give her, and I just want to sit there and not think and not do nothing, because men are very good at that, and we value not doing nothing. That right there that right there ain't even equal. It's something about value and time that's totally different for men. Men and women think that, oh, if I feel this way, you should feel this way too. No, bitch. It don't work like that. I'm not you, you not me. I don't want to be you. Trust me, you don't have what it takes to be me. A man's truth is so much different than what a woman's truth is. A woman can just come out blatantly say, you know, once a woman tell you the truth, depending on the level of respect you have for her, the shit don't even sting or hurt you no more once she done cut you deep one time. Because my wife didn't cut me deep before, but I can understand when she has something to tell me, especially if it's about something that we doing in our relationship. I can go ahead, sit back, and fix that shit, and we can move on. You tell a woman about herself, she can't accept nothing you saying. She doing everything she can to fight the accountability of being wrong. You know why? Because the sense of rejection of women, they don't know how to deal with that. When has a woman ever had to charm you? When has a woman ever came up to you, spit some game to you to get anything that she want out of you for real? And we just gonna put it as, okay, when has a woman ever had to say or come up with some fresh ass line nigga to get some dick up out you? Never. It ain't never gonna happen, because they don't have the skill to hunt the way we do. They don't have the skill set to do it, and nor do they need it. A woman don't need to be funny. It's cool if you're a woman funny, but a lot of these bitches out here, they think they funny. They ain't funny. They not funny. Like how many female comedians can you see go on stage that's really funny? That's really like got you dying laughing?
That's tough.
Yeah, you took too long. You took too long, bro. You took too long. That's your answer right there. To them, the shit, because it's relatable, that shit funny. But we just be sitting back, we're like, man, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck is she talking about? I don't. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, I had to check myself on that, or test myself, because I was like, maybe I'm just being biased. And I asked my old lady, she said the same thing though. She don't even. She's like, man, female comedians just not funny. Like, okay, I was just making sure. I thought I was,
Funny. That bitch Leslie Jones is corny.
Right,
Wanda Sykes sucks. Wanda Sykes sucks. You know what woman comedians was funny to me? B Flat from Comic View. She was funny, like really funny. Fucking Melanie Camacho. Linnell is funny. But like I could say probably way back in the Gap, Monique was funny for a little bit, but she ran that fat bitch shit into the ground. She ran that shit into the ground. You're like, okay, bitch, all right, yeah, it was funny the first time. You know what I'm saying? Like, the originality and the fact that a lot of females a lot of female comedy has never opened up your mind as a man. You never like, oh, that shit was like clever though. You know what I'm saying? It's just they don't have to be funny. They don't have to do what we do. Like women, think about the reasons that women even fall in love with men. They're totally different. We don't fall in love with women the same way. We don't want to. Women, you know how men fall in love with you? By spending time with you. Growing like a fucking couch. You there, you stayed with me, you stayed down, you showed a level of respect, you showed a level of decorum, you showed that you can handle yourself, you shown that when shit get rough, man, you been there. That's what the loyalty is what we fall in love with. We don't fall in love because you're smart. I don't give a fuck about you smart, bitch. If you dumb, we can educate you. We don't give a fuck about how smart you are. I mean, we don't just want no dumb ass bitch, but at the end of the day, a man can take the smallest rock out of the dirt and make you into a fucking diamond. If we have a man gotta have the power. He gotta have ability to be able to do any of these things that I'm talking about. Every man ain't capable, and matter of fact, boys aren't capable of what I'm talking about. It's no sense in addressing bitch ass niggas because they exist in their own world and they do hoe ass shit all the time. Just like some of these hoe ass bitches that make women out here look, well, they can never make women look bad because they ain't in the same league. You wouldn't take somebody from Jay-Z. You wouldn't take somebody from the JV side and immediately give them $100 million contract and say go win us the NBA Finals, would you?
That ain't gonna happen.
It ain't gonna happen. You can't even fathom what it takes to even be on that level. You haven't had the teaching. You haven't worked hard enough, and it makes absolutely no sense that the world is so fucked up because every woman wants to be taken care of by her man. She wants to be coddled. She wants to be told nice things. She wants to know that he's a man, that he can take care of shit, and that he can do right by her and make sure he tells her the truth. Regardless of how dangerously, mean our truth may sound, at the end of the day, every woman appreciates it when she done had time to digest it. As long as there ain't no disrespect involved, a woman can accept anything a man can say as long as he's not talking to her like a fucking animal.
Yeah.
It don't take me calling you a bitch for you to listen to me. You're only a bitch when it's warranted. If my woman can call me an asshole, I call her man swears, I call her an asshole, I'll call her a dick to her face when she acting like it. Women don't like being called man swears, you dickhead. Like when you call your woman a dickhead, nigga, she has to sit back there and think like, what the fuck did this nigga just say? Like, 'cause she ain't expecting that. But you only call her that when she is one. You don't call her that just to be calling her one. This ain't about abuse. This ain't about abusing your woman. You gotta soothe your woman's ego. Because as much as women love to sit out here and think that, oh, men have big egos. Yeah, we have egos to a point, but that's a natural competitive nature that we have. Women, when you really think about it, they're competitive for our time. A woman will eat your time up, nigga, as much as you willing to give it to her. If you willing to be her little time hoe, then she gonna take all of your time and do whatever the fuck she want with it. Be unpredictable. Nigga, show her, nigga, I ain't coming home at 5. I'll be here at 5:30. And the moment that you get out of whack and you show her that you run her shit, it only makes your level of attractiveness. It only makes you way more attractive to her. She knows she can't run you. No woman wants to run her man, really.
Yeah, that is true. That is absolutely true. And it's an odd thing that you have to do these things. I mean, it's just, it's part of it. Because once a woman gets comfortable with you and she thinks she has you learned, that's when the problem's really going to rise. So you have to keep a little bit of, I won't say mystery, but you can't ever just keep everything. It can never just get too smooth. Because then that's when she's going to find it's in a woman's nature to create some turmoil. If things are just if everything is just too smooth, so you gotta be the one to be proactive in doing that. Just not letting everything get. I'm not saying do anything wild. Not saying go cheat. Not gonna say do all that crazy stuff. But sometimes you gotta upset the apple cart a little bit.
No, you don't have to do. You don't have to do none of that. And we can discuss cheating. Like men don't cheat. Men cheat because they naturally like pussy. Like, I mean, no man feels like one woman is supposed to be in his own, regardless of what a Bible or whatever you believe in. That's whatever. Women, let's just be real. Marriage, when you really think about it, it benefits women and women only. It benefits women. Think about this. They've been thinking about this shit since they were little girls. They think about me having a dress. They think about, oh, their daddy giving them away if he around. They think about all their friends and family being around. They think about getting some expensive ass ring, some big ass venue. They eating good. They get to dance and look at you in your eyes. And what the fuck do you do in return? You just repeat some words that some other nigga was saying. You sign a certificate saying that the shit is legal, and you dance. And you get to say, yeah, I love you too, baby. That shit ain't for us. It's for them. I love my wife because I'm invested in my wife. I can grow with my wife. I'm still growing with my wife. It's not a chore for me to be married. I'm married because that's what I want to be. But when you think about the ideology and the meaning behind what a marriage is, it's not really, like, there ain't no man sitting back and thinking, like, when he's 4 years old, man, you know what, I wonder what it's going to be like the day I get married. Niggas, like, when it happened, it happened. It don't never have to happen. We going to still be happy in the process. We don't need a lot of things that women need to be happy. You don't need that. You happy. You like, I can almost imagine when we was really deep about a year or so when we was really starting to sauce off, all of us I know I got shit from my woman. I know Ray got shit from his woman because he got away from, like, he had to go away from doing videos and shit like that for a long time with us. And it's just like, when women see you interested in doing some other shit that ain't involved with them, they gotta assume the worst shit. Oh, you're talking to them niggas more than you talk to me. Oh, and this and that. And, you're like, bitch, I'm just having fun. It ain't no slight to you. Like, why is man fun so offensive to women? Like, when they hear you on the phone with one of your partners and you get a good, healthy laugh, nigga, you ever see how she look at you? Like, what the fuck you laughing at? Why you laughing so hard? Why is it like that? I'm not going to stop laughing just because you over there looking funny and you ain't in on the joke. You know what I'm saying? Like, that don't make no sense to me, but I would never stop you from laughing, because to laugh is a very valuable thing. If you ain't laughing, you probably crying on the inside. And who wants to do that shit?
Let me just do this real quick. Okay. Yeah, but I mean, it'd be like that, you know. And again, like I say, you just have to regulate and set the tone, and just let it be known what is what. And I think once they see that you steadfast in something, you know, they get with it. You know, they get with the program. Yeah, DeMarque, I had to do that to you, man. You know, I had to do that to you. You know, you crossed the line. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, we're what is it? Green light on DeMarque. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Like I say,
don't tell me that nigga. Don't tell me that nigga DeMarcus in here talking shit again.
No, oh yeah, he did throw another little serial shot comment, but that wasn't the reason why he got the green light right now. If you were in politics, you would legalize prostitution and weed, so everything's a party with you. But my thing is, like I say, you know, it's just a situation. Like, yeah, women, like I say, you just gotta have a stand. You gotta stand for something when it comes to that. If they know that they can push you around, I mean, it's no fun in that same way. You know, when they get with a certain type of nigga, and they expect him to be a certain way, and if they end up changing him, they don't want the nigga no more. You know, it's the things that the perceptions that they fall in love with. So. Again, you know, it is what it is.
But women know throughout it all the time. Nigga, when I was dating my woman, when I would do some dirt, my woman knew about my shit. My woman made a conscientious decision to stay with me throughout all the little bullshit drama, which wasn't even a lot of drama. But it's just like, nigga, women love to sit here and act like they don't know who the fuck they dealing with. And then got the nerve to blame men for a choice that when they wanted to stay. Obviously, nigga, the pros outweigh the cons. So why are you sitting here making excuses when you put yourself in that situation? Is at an all-time low right now. Like from your perspective, Honcho, why do you think accountability, especially in women, is such a horrible thing for them to accept? Is it because no one ever held them accountable when they were younger, or did they feel that they never do anything wrong and they have the ability to say whatever they want, how they want, when they want, without any repercussion?
Not a bad one to talk about, but I think it's a little bit of both. I think, you know, depending on how they were raised, you know, you have a lot of them that are, you know, they like society automatically treats women softer. You know, they treat them like, you know, they're less than, and that's the crazy thing is, you know, people get upset when I say certain things, but it's not about me being disrespectful. It's about saying, you know, I treat you as equal. If you want to be considered a certain way, if you want to be represented a certain way, well, this is what comes with that. You know, when you get more power or more responsibility, and, you know, there's other things that come with that. But I think, like I say, society generally doesn't hold them accountable. When girls are young, it's always sunshine and rainbows and unicorns and all this other stuff, even though they be just as devious, if not more devious than, you know, little niggas. And then, you know, there's just this perception that, oh, women do no wrong. Women, you know, they're this and that. And again, there's a lot of women out there doing just as much dirt, I mean, as men, but they don't get held to the same standard. Women commit murder or do any of these other things, they don't get the same level of time. They don't get viewed. It's just that perception as them being the weaker sex. So there's no, you know, people feel like as a whole that they're harmless, even though they're just as capable of doing just as much damage as anybody else.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense in my eyes, man.
Alright. Well, that's a BT, man. I'm finna get ready to wind it down. I'm finna give me some Z's here myself. I gotta get up early in the morning. But anything else you want to add to that real quick?
I just woke up from a long ass nap. I heard the call, and nigga Trill was speaking that shit. I had to get in.
Already. Yeah, the Trill generally, you know, 97% of the time the nigga Trill makes sense, except for when he talking about the Lakers or some of that other offbeat ass nonsense. But outside of that, you know, he all good. So, you know, there's that. But that's
yeah. Yeah, that's cool, man. Shit, I'm gonna get it to you later, bro.
Alright, that's a bad one, man. Appreciate the call.
Alright.
Let me pay my dues here, And as we get ready to wind it down, for those of you who are asking about the a little bonus there, for those of you who are asking about the vote, was it a man or a woman? I have no idea. I don't know. You got to ask Roderick. Roderick was the one who sent the pictures, so I gotta. I have no idea. You know what I'm saying? So, but the thing about it is that it got so many likes. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna look up to the. This is how you feel. I don't want. I'll say 50K. Okay, I'm tripping. I thought I was giving a bonus. Hold on. Let me hook it up then. Hold on. Let me pay my proper properties. Look, players fuck up. Tell you, I'm a little tired over here. Look. What was it? That's right. All right, cool. There you go. But so my thing is this, right? My thing is this. All good, man. Hey, look, you got to pay for good. You got to pay for good work around here. People can't be stingy with it. My thing is this, man. My thing is this. First, let me take this one sweaty ass ears and stuff as we get ready to wind up. The cupcake thing, like I said, I was totally unfamiliar. Like I've been doing some things differently with my schedule. I've been doing some this thing. I've been listening to this audiobook called Deep Work, and it just talks about, again, like getting yourself in the zone. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. I won't say I've been frustrated, but I've had this nagging feeling, right? You know what I'm saying? And the nagging feeling is like, gotta do something greater. Between this channel, between Sauce, between everything, it's just like, I feel like there's so much more potential. But then there's other potential in other areas, not just, dealing with the YouTube thing. And so I've been on this kind of mini mission of, getting more efficient, being more productive, and things like that. But the habits that, these phones and the internet and all this other stuff does, having you checking and doing all these things. So I've been segmenting some time away from the internet to work on things, to do some studying and some other stuff, and it's some exercise that help get your focus back. Because when I was younger, I was pretty good at that. Like I said, I could just lock myself in a room, or I could focus on things for significant amounts of time. But as the more you deal with the internet, and it's funny because some of the things it talks about, like I remember I was being one of my when it was the Droid first came out, smartphone and stuff like that. I was one of the first people to have them, but then I kind of went back to a dumb phone because I just saw what it was doing. But we all use these fucking smartphones for all kind of shit now. But I prefer, look, in reality, I'd rather have a damn clamshell. But I know the necessary evils of having a smartphone in the day and age we live. But I was so much more productive. I was so much more productive when I was clamshelling, or just had, just whatever. You reach me here, I'm not on this bitch. I'm not doing all, and I could focus more, get so much more done. So that habit got broken, and I noticed that with the usage of smartphones and other things like that, and just having that direct access to the internet, so I allot certain times where I'm not fooling with it, and so. Like I said, just other little things and some other little habits I've been trying to work on being consistent with, but I've been missing out on stories and things like that. But I'm going to get back to dropping the recorded dens. Been working on a little way. I want to kind of have those looking. They'll probably be similar to the way the old ones were, but just doing something a little bit different with those. And just getting back to being able to produce more content and still get, some other things done. So it is what it is. So there's that. Shirley, I'm still waiting on the picture. You talking about you had more junk in the trunk than the possible punk. I don't know what that was. Tomorrow is Wednesday. We'll have a Rockets pregame for Thursday, depending on what time the game start. But there will be Rockets content starting to come out. I'm not going to neglect the Rockets. I'm not going to neglect the Rockets like I did last year. Because it turned out to be a huge mistake. I'm telling y'all gonna be upset, but there's some things that y'all may or may not be noticing with a particular team that don't expect expect too much of an extended season, but it is what it is. See, but the Texans are like a jinx on the fucking Astro. Like, the Texans shouldn't be allowed to go to anybody's games. Fucking J.J. Watt does the Bregman. What happens? They lose. The Texans, J.J. and the rest of them niggas go to the damn Stros. It might just be J.J. J.J. might be bad luck. You know, he goes to the damn game. What happened? They lose. You know, I'm just saying. Coincidence? I might be wrong. So, is a moosh. If that's what I think it is, then yeah. Yeah, look, you know, cool, everything you do on the field, but it's just, I see why people around the country, oh yeah, they was baking. And Tillman was in that bitch baked too. Yeah, a bad guy person. Yeah, I thought it was much like a mooch, but not like a moocher, but in the sense of like attention. So, bad luck person. Okay, it works too. I don't know. Like I said, it's just again, like I said, I appreciate what JJ has done historically as a Texan. But JJ is kind of an attention whore, so there's that. So I'm gonna leave it on that one. I mean, but you gotta do what you gotta do for your brand. That's cool. But yeah. So with that being said, y'all, I'm about to call y'all the freshest motherfucking agree. It's time for me to go to bed. I fucks with y'all. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Look for some recorded content coming soon. I appreciate all of y'all. With that being said, I'm up out of here. Y'all ain't got us to go home. We gonna raffle DeMarquis wrench tomorrow. We gonna put it up for raffle. We gonna see who gets his wrench. But y'all ain't gotta go home. But y'all got to get the fuck out of here. I'm gone, man. Adios. You get some pistachios, you gotta share your pistachios with everybody. Nobody else help you carry out the hit, but everybody wants some.